Hi guys. Hi Tyrion. So, for those of you who don't know what Raven's Real Talk is, and it's your first time here, welcome. Raven's Real Talk is basically a talk show that I created in which we have thought provoking discussions about topics that either have affected us at some point in our life or may affect us at some point in our life. And we just discuss the topics and hope to walk away from the discussion with more awareness about the topic or just to share our experiences. And ultimately, the goal is to somehow become like better people or become people who like reflect more on ourselves through these discussions. That's what Raven's Real Talk is. It happens every Monday at 6 p.m. I usually do call outs on Twitter for guests that I'm thinking about for the show depending on the topic. Slate, thank you for that host. The one coming up for next week is part 2 of the Black Lives Matter discussion that we had. In the first discussion that we had, we focused more on like the history of it and exploring what the movement is about and just essentially educating ourselves on why it's important to talk about it. And then this talk that's coming up on next Monday, it's more focused on like the deeper seated issues of the systemic racism and then the police brutality bit, which is what goes into police training, what type of training do they have, how long is it, why are they able to get away with the things that they're able to get away with. So like more of like a deeper dive into the law bit of it. I'm really excited to have this discussion because I feel like it's something that I've recently became more acquainted with, and it just has opened my eyes to so much that's been happening around the world that I kind of knew about, but I didn't really digest all of it. Brandon, thank you for that host. I appreciate that. Hi, Annie. So that's next week. But for this week, we are talking about first dates. And the main purpose of this topic is to basically just share our experiences, discuss some of the common misconceptions that are surrounding what a good date is, what a bad date is, discuss red flags that a lot of us ignore or we acknowledge and want to share our experiences about, and first date impressions and expectations that are, huge on the first date because this is the first time that you're meeting the person. 50 First Dates. I never actually fully watched that movie. I just remember it was, if I'm not mistaken, about a girl and every day she wakes up without her memory or something. Something like that. What are first dates? Oh my god. So without further ado, I will introduce our first guest of today. This is a friend that I actually was fortunate enough to make through Twitch Things. All of these friends I made through Twitch Things. And the first person I'd like to introduce is FunX Live. Boom! Hi, Fun. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi. I'm FunX. I'm 22 years old. Next week I turn 23. I'm from Germany. On Twitch I make a lot of Twitch things or play games whatever I want, and today we discussed about our experiences about first dates, relationship, and I'm excited, so we will see what's going on.
Yay, happy to have you here. Thank you very much. If you guys could also keep track of the volume, that would be awesome, because I turned everyone up and I'm hoping that fixes whatever issues we were having before. And he plays Mirror Edge better than me. Ooh! You play Mirror Edge too!
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, if anyone is a Mirror Edge fan, FunX plays that as well. You were almost correct on the premise of the movie. Okay, so I kind of got it, kind of. The next wonderful person I would like to introduce to you all, a lot of you know him because I talk about him a lot on when we're playing Valorant. I'm always referring to him if we're playing. It's the other Solo Dolo up in the house.
You are something else.
Hi, CC Kitty. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Do I have to?
Yes, you must.
All right. Hi, everybody. Solo Extra 7, the other Solo Dolo. I play a lot of different games. Variety streamer. been here for like 3 years now, maybe a little bit more. Anniversary's coming up soon, and yeah, met Ray at TwitchCon last year. We've been pretty good friends since then.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, decided to come on this topic for first dates, even though I saw the next topic we're gonna do next week. I'm like, wish I got in on that one too, but we're not gonna go into it. And yeah, happy to give some input.
Yay! Thank you for being here. Thank you, Solo Dolo. Also, hi Mike. Thank you for being here, guys. Everyone who's here in chat or lurking or just chilling, thank you very much. And last but not least, we have another, like I said, a wonderful person that I met through Twitch Sings. Yo, honestly, I'm so grateful for Twitch Sings because it made me meet some really incredible people. Like, I could safely say possibly a little less than half of every person that I interact with regularly or know well has been through Twitch Things. It's pretty insane. She is the wonderful Tyrion that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting in real life. But hi, Tyrion. Oh, yeah.
Hi, my mic is muted.
Do you want
hi.
to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Tyrion, and you guys probably know that. Yeah, I'm a retired Twitch streamer, and now I just like hanging out in chats and like interacting with everybody. And it's really like nice, you know, making lots of friends and stuff in different communities.
And she plays Valorant, which is lately the game that
Currently.
we've been playing. Well, we haven't played in a little bit, but she plays Valorant as well. So, revamped. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you. So, shall we dive into question number 1? I'm ready. Guys,
So-
what I wanted to say is, I'm trying something. No, I accidentally clicked on Valorant. Why? Sorry, that was a total misclick. You might see something
gosh,
happen on
my-
my screen.
Camera fuck.
We're playing Valorant, guys. Let's go.
Let's
Wait,
ditch the real
let
talk.
me patch real quick.
Let me patch
I
real quick.
I just got off. This is not right.
Give me
Meant to be.
2 seconds. You might notice some Valorant music in the back. I'm sorry. We're not playing Valorant right now. Maybe later. But not right now. Exit to desktop. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Valorant, I'm a brain, man. Shit. So, what I was saying is I'm trying something new. I usually get behind in chat. So what we discussed is what I'm going to do is we're going to discuss the first question, and then we're going to address chat. So if I do miss your comment, I'm deeply apologetic. I'm very sorry about that. But here we go. First question is, what is your preferred way of greeting the person you're going on a date with? And the reason I'm asking this question is because for the record, disclaimer, I've never really been on a date, like a first date. I've never really had it because most of my relationships, or actually all of them, have always transitioned from a friendship to a relationship. So I have never experienced this. However, I have met people for the first time, like from a website or something, not a date, hangout, and it's always this weird, awkward moment where they're like, hi, they're leaning in for a hug, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with you. So the way I got away from the situation is I would just text them in advance, say, listen, I'm not a hugger, first timer hugger, so I'm just letting you know, like, just don't do it. But I understand that makes things awkward because it's become a very normal thing to hug someone you barely know. So what about you guys? Tyrion, you want to go ahead?
Wait, can I go last?
Oh, sure. Okay. Fun. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, okay. I can try. In my opinion, it depends on how good you know the person you met for the first date. I mean, if you ride with this person a few weeks ago and you barely know each other, then I think a hug is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did it already on a few first dates.
Yeah.
But at this point, when it comes to the date, I knew the person bit better than yeah. I never met someone who I really don't know, and if I would do something like that, I don't think that I come with a hug or yeah.
Yeah. So you also find it that you draw the line when it comes to like how well you know the person. It's not just I meet someone and it's automatically a given that you would hug them.
No, that I have to know a few things about the person, and more than the name or the age.
Okay. Yeah,
And no,
that makes sense. Solo dolo, which one say? Which one say?
Uh, I feel like yeah, I would agree with fun. It kind of depends on the person. Most times, um, when you kind of understand the connection between you and that person, you will probably understand that you would either go in for a hug or you would just be kind of excited to see them. I feel like it depends on like kind of your background too, like
Mm,
depending on how you grew up or like the friends that you made, like are they huggers? Are they more of a touchy kind of person? Do people like to respect your space? And just kind of like how do you guys interact with each other? So when I had first dates, which weren't very many,
mm-hmm.
and usually I'm just like kind of cool. If I already, most of the times I already know the person, so I already like go in for the hug, or they
Yeah.
come to me first, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, let's just do this. And uh, some people enjoy my hugs. I don't know why. To this day, I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, apparently I'm a great hugger, and then yeah, that just goes on from there. So I usually try to respect people's space because not everybody wants to be touched, and you know, people nasty.
Do you think it's a good rule to follow to kind of like wait for the other person to make the first move, or do you think that can also work against the situation?
I feel like it kind of goes either way. Like if you're gonna go in for it and they're gonna, reciprocate the same
Sure.
motion, then good.
Yeah.
Like okay, it's already fine. Everyone's
Right.
going for the hug. But if it's like one and then the other just kind of like stands there, just like,
Oh no,
like
yeah.
I know a lot of people that don't really like to hug at all, and then they're like, there's very few exceptions that they will allow someone to hug them, even if
Yeah.
they've known them for like their entire life. It's just
A personal thing,
yeah, it's
yeah.
just a personal thing. So it's like be respectful of it, and if they tell you ahead of time, or in conversation, you guys had this talk like, hey, like I just don't really hug people. Like okay, like just high five or something, or elbow bump, or I don't know, like touch their knee. I don't fucking know.
Touch their knee. Hi. Like, wait, where's your hand going?
That's
I'd be, whoa, whoa, whoa.
like
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, whoa there. Tyrion, what about you?
Are we just talking like first dates, I guess?
Yeah.
Like first
Like,
date.
first.
It's hard to say. Like I've been on a lot of like have you guys done a lot of like Tinder dates and stuff like that? Where you like swipe and then you like talk to somebody and then you meet them at a bar or something.
Yeah.
Um so I guess like I don't know, to me hugging is just pretty like normal, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know, like if I'm excited to see somebody and I'll just like go up and hug them, I guess. That's just me though.
But see, I like that you know that about yourself. And
Yeah.
right, like you know that
Because I
that's
don't think a
something that you
hug
would
is like
do.
super sexual. I think it's just very like, hey, like good to see you kind of thing, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Like a greeting. I mean, you could do a handshake too, but that might be a little bit
Awkward.
weird. Like, hey, how are you? Nice to meet
Yeah, exactly.
you.
And I think it depends on the type of hug too.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna squeeze somebody, it's more like a casual hug.
Like a hug,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I don't know how to explain it.
No, I get it. I have been hugged in a way that made me feel uncomfortable one time where the person, like this was just a coworker, and he hugged me. This is not a date. This was just like a coworker stopping by like my other job, and he was just coming by to say hi. And he did the hug where he leans, when you lean back and the person's feet are kind of lifted off the ground and then like your upper bodies are kind of like sandwiched together. That's freaking weird. Like that is so strange. Why? I don't know. But I think okay, if you went in for a hug and someone did that, would you feel uncomfortable?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Probably not.
Because it
But
probably
I'm
depends on
very-
your interaction with that person too.
Yeah, like it depends. Like if you were like say you were talking to somebody, you kind of know who they are.
Yeah,
If
and
they
you're
did that,
agreeing
I'd-
to go on a date with them, so it must mean you have some kind of
Yeah. Or
trust or attraction there.
yeah. I guess even if they did something like that, I wouldn't really be like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" Like
Yeah.
I'm going home. Bye. I would just be like, "Okay, that was interesting. Like let's move on."
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you brought up because in that moment, I felt uncomfortable, but I didn't say anything. And it only kind of dawned on me. I was like, what? Why do I feel weird right now? And then when I reflected, I was like, that's why the hug made me uncomfortable. But yeah, I also think that it's really interesting that there are things that, for example, Annie mentioned cultural differences, like Dolo mentioned, like the way you were raised, and like Tyrion mentioned, just your personal preferences. Like, this just shows you in us four people, we each sort of look at like initial body contact, because a hug is like body contact. We all look at it differently. So my takeaway from this bit is it's just safer to kind of like ask someone if you are unsure. Like some of us know that from our interaction with the person that a hug is a fine way to go, or we already like have discussed something personal about that individual and they just don't do hugs. So go with that information and just do the fist bump or whatever they're comfortable with. But I think a good practice to put into place is for us to ask. Because I know I have been guilty of like going in for hugs and things like that and not asking people. And like now looking back, yeah, definitely a fist bump. But like now looking back, I feel like, damn, I should have probably asked them. Also, the culture was different growing up. Because like growing up, I guess maybe there were all of, I'm sure there were all of these like very terrible things happening to people. But because I was a kid, it like never even registered that could possibly be a way that someone was using to touch me, or that I was using to touch someone. So it didn't even cross my mind to like ask for their consent. Does that make sense? Like, do you get what I'm saying? To hug them, because when I was growing up, hugging was just a hug, and it wasn't. Because I never had the feeling of like, oh, I'm gonna feel up on someone, and like no one ever did that to me. So I never thought to be like, can I hug you? Are we good? But like nowadays, bro, I totally understand why it's important to like ask people. And another thing is, there's some people who have had some kind of trauma when it comes to sexual harassment and things like that, to the extent where they just don't want to be touched. But anyway, you could be identify as a guy, a girl, whatever it is, and they just don't want to be touched.
I'm a giraffe. How dare you?
Exactly, and giraffes don't want to be touched. So
got a long neck.
Have you had that like sort of interaction with somebody where they were like, "Oh, I don't feel comfortable with you hugging me"?
So many people.
Oh, really? I've
surprised.
never run into that yet.
You'd be surprised, and that's when it got me thinking.
That's
like,
crazy.
Tara, don't touch me. I'm gonna spray you.
So see,
no,
it's like
it really
interesting.
Does, like, it really does depend on the person. Like, even if you are, I don't know. I guess for me, I'm trying to remember. Did we hug, Ray?
You and me?
Yeah. I don't feel like we did. I don't know.
Oh, I don't think we did.
Okay.
But I think we did at Plausilarium. But I think we did like when we were leaving. When it was like after karaoke.
Yeah, it was there for sure. I remember that one. So, yeah, I mean, even when I was at TwitchCon and I was meeting the people that I was like being a part of their communities, like I'm pretty sure like 95% of them were all okay with hugging.
Yeah.
And the others like actually like spoke to me or said it later after the convention was over. I was like, yeah, like I'm not really one to give out hugs or whatever else. But they
Mhm.
were just, like I said, people just enjoyed my hugs, and I don't understand. But they're just like, yeah, Drew just gave really good hugs. I'm just like,
That's a
okay.
good compliment. I'll take that. That's a good compliment.
I'm such a tiny guy. I don't understand. So
Maybe
I'm
you
just like,
got
all
the
right.
right amount of like squeeze and
It,
embrace, like
maybe.
timing too. You know,
Just all the way.
there's a lot that goes into a good
I'm gonna
hug.
reach into your pockets, steal your wallet. All right, have a good one.
uh,
So,
Cece
One time,
says, "Oh, sorry. Go ahead."
one time I had a situation, someone, and the hug came from her, but it wasn't a real hug. It was kind of, I don't know. We don't touch each other. It
Oh,
was
like this? It was like this.
like this, and that was
I don't
really
like those
awkward.
hugs. Yeah, just don't
Um,
give it then.
yeah, yeah,
Right? Like in that case, if that's your concern, you don't want to like touch bodies, then just don't give it in the first place because that is really awkward. I've experienced
yeah.
a couple of hugs like that. Did you say anything in that moment?
No, I was. I don't know what
Shocked.
to say at this moment, and it was a little bit embarrassing for me in this situation, and I thought, okay, let's go on. This never happened, and yeah,
Let's move forward. Let's not talk
yeah.
about it.
Let's not talk about it. Hopefully, the rest of
Ever.
the evening gets better.
Yeah. Cece says hugs are awesome in my books, only if we know each other. Totally agree. I totally understand that. This solo Raven bot seems pretty smart. I agree with Drew just because the bot is smart. Thank you, Drew. Hmm. A lifting bear hug. Yeah, I'm not into those, honestly. Unless, like, I'm deeply invested in someone or I'm in a relationship with someone or it's my family, then then I'm fine with that. But the lifting thing, I don't know, it's weird. MW22894 says, hi, hi guys. Hi, MW? Should I call you MW? And Z Kuro Star, hello, hello. Thank you for being here to support Solo Dolo. And MW as well. Fist bump everywhere. I've actually learned to do that with some people, and it's been working great for me. I try to implement, by the way, the asking like before hugging them at TwitchCon, but honestly, there were so many people and like so many at a time. Sometimes like one after the other, so I just didn't ask. So hopefully, I didn't violate anyone's personal space. Hover hug. Yeah, I'm not into that. Hi, Habibi. I hate hugging. Mike, that's a damn lie. Don't even, okay? You're the first person I hugged at TwitchCon. The Christian side hugs are fine if that's what you're into. Like that's fine if you feel comfortable with that. Gotta hi ninja. Gotta pay me with bacon for my hugs, except my girl Tyrion. She can have all my hugs. No hugs for you then, ninja. Oops. You must be blind, homie. Oh, that's funny. All right. We are on to our next question. Also, I don't have used wallets, so you better be grabbing my butt. That's a lot. Oh, that's a lawsuit. When was the last date you had, and what was it like? Solo Dolo, hit us up.
Oh god.
last date?
Mm-hmm.
What are those? For real? Like, I don't even remember. Wow.
That's okay. Then you can just say, for all of you guys, you can just say, what was it like? What was your last date that you had like?
Honestly, I think my last date was just kind of a casual, like we were just going out, but we didn't define it as a date. Like we just
Okay.
kind of like, yeah, we want to see each other, we want to hang out, we want to go have some fun, and we just went to like a festival that's down here that I usually like to go to.
Your idea? The festival?
Yeah, it was my idea. I decided to take them out to the zoo or whatever, and yeah, she'd never been to the zoo, which was like, dude, you lived here all your life and you've never been to the zoo? Like, what kind of family members, what kind of life are you living? So like, I was just like, yeah, let's just go to the zoo, and we went to the exhibit and we saw everything, and she had a great time and all that stuff, and it was before I was leaving to move to Virginia. I just like we just graduated and like I was about to move to do this job boot camp thing, and like she didn't want to say like she was into me, and then it just got really awkward. I'm like, well, we've been saying these things for like a few years now, so I don't know what you're exactly looking for. And I just left it at that. Like I was like, I'm leaving like the state, so I'm like, either we could make a long distance work or we're not going to do anything at all. And like that was it, and we haven't really talked as much as we used to. And but we're still cool. Like we can hit each other up and just see how we're doing. But like I haven't seen her in like quite a couple years at least. So that was like the last like official date that I actually went on.
So it wasn't awkward or anything.
No, I was like, we were having fun. We had a great time. It was just once it got to the end and like I told her the things that were going on, she was just like, oh.
And she didn't know that, I guess.
She had a hint, but I don't think she like connected the dots, and then I don't think she was like fully committed to wanting to be in a relationship. And then like I find out later, like she was already talking to somebody else. I was like, okay, cool.
Ooh, okay.
You could have just said that, and I would have been fine and moved on with my life, and talked to somebody else.
Right.
Of, wasting my time with you. No offense. So yeah, that was that.
A question about that, because you said you guys didn't define it. So is it possible that she just took the date as a hangout?
I think she did, more than likely, because I stressed that like the zoo should have been something like you should always go to the zoo. Like,
okay.
You live here. How do you not go to one of the zoos that you're in your state? Like, come on. So, and it was a perfect time. There was like other little events going on in the zoo, so there was just things to see and things to do. So like playing games and whatnot and watching other people do things and stuff. So they have music going on too. So like it was stuff to do. Like I picked the perfect day.
You did pick the perfect day.
She was like, nah, and I'm like, cool, I'm gonna just go that way.
So you didn't explicitly make it clear that it was a date?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's a really important point. Yeah, what Slay said, exactly. Because I've been in so many situations. Not like, okay, sorry. Please don't take that like, oh, she's so cocky. That's not what I mean. I just mean like, I've been in a lot of situations where I'm like hanging out with a friend, and then later on I find out that they thought it was a date, and I'm like, wait, what? Because the rule that I follow is if I'm into you, I will explicitly, like, I say what I mean and I mean what I say. So if I'm like attracted to you, or I want to date you, or I want to sleep with you, or whatever, like, you will know, baby. You will know. Don't make up stuff in your head. Don't be like, I assumed, I thought. No. Let me lead in that sense. Like, let me talk for myself instead of you making your own conclusions. And I think that's so important because a lot of us do that. Like, I've made assumptions about people being interested in me before, or like, not the date friendship thing, because I've usually like made it very clear, like, this is a hangout, this is a date, whatever it is. I haven't really had a date, so I can't say I've used the date thing. But it's important for a lot of people that might be watching or listening to implement that in your life, because you don't want to be in a situation where you both are not on the same page. And although in Drew's case, I don't know all the details, and I don't know how much emotional like damage that was done from that relationship, or not coming to fruition, or whatever it is. But in some people's cases, they invest a lot into feeling that way, a certain way about someone romantically, and then acting on that thinking it's a date, and then when they find out it wasn't, it like destroys them. So just to avoid that type of
true.
Yeah, so to avoid that heartache, the easiest thing that you can do is just be transparent, and the other person should be respectful and transparent and respect you enough to explicitly say. It's not always easy because people don't want to hurt each other and all of this, but they don't realize that they're hurting you by leading you on or not telling you the accurate, the way it is. So that's something I wanted to mention, because I think that's a really good like a life lesson for all of us to implement in our life. Tyrion, do
Yeah.
you want to mention?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, that's funny that you mentioned that because I was like that when I like first started like dating or using Tinder. And then recently, like my last date, I thought it was just like a hookup. Like I thought this like person was like, yeah, let's go on this. Like, yeah, do you want to come over? And I was like, oh, they just want to like hook up. And then it turned out like they planned out this like huge date, like dinner, and then like going back to their apartment and painting and like having wine. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. Like,
Shoot!
I was like,
Rip.
oh god.
He was about to paint you like one of them French girls.
Right?
And
Oh my god.
And I
Jesus.
appreciated it because I was like, oh, like people don't really do that anymore, you know, because everyone's so like uptight and like afraid of putting themselves out there. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that cute innocence that people do have.
Uh-huh.
Yo, I need to pour one out for my man. He didn't even know.
Yeah, so it was it's definitely the opposite of what I thought. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm
You
gonna
just-
hook up
right,
tonight.
right.
Nope, nope, never mind.
Oh my god.
Gotta
That
be
is-
all wholesome and stuff today.
Oh no, he was about to lay it down. He was
Right? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so that was my like most recent date.
I mean, it sounds like an amazing experience if you ended up going through with it, but I can understand how you could be taken back like, bro, that's too serious. That's not what I'm looking for. That's
Yeah,
not
like,
even
I
what I
was-
thought,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm like in this like casual, like I just want to like, you know, date some people, I guess, and just like have fun kind of thing. I'm not really like looking for anything serious, and so I felt really bad, you know, because I know what it's like putting together all these things for somebody and then like them not having the same expectation.
Yeah. Did you, while you guys were talking, did you guys talk about your intentions or what you're looking for, or?
Yeah, I mean, I told them like straight up, like that night because I've had it where people are like, yeah, like let's go on dates. You go on dates for weeks and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, I don't really think that this is going anywhere. You know, that whole like, thing. It's like, okay, then why did we go on a bunch of dates?
Yeah.
guess.
What the hell? You weren't. When were you planning to tell me? Like, right?
Yeah, like wait, okay, we've hung out for, you know, X amount of dates or whatever. But yeah, so I'm very like aware of that, and I'm like, for me, I would never want to do that to somebody. So, I mean, I told them like right away.
After the
Hey, I
first hangout.
Yeah, like
date,
that
hangout,
night.
whatever. Yeah. And then so,
Yeah.
but when you guys were texting back and forth, that didn't come up.
No, because I had no idea. Because we met at a Halloween party. We were super drunk, made out, and then it was like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" And I was like, "Sure."
Oh,
And
so
then
you
they,
just
like-
automatically thought that it was gonna
Yeah.
be another one of those. Okay, got it. See,
Yeah.
isn't that interesting? Like one person takes away a completely different experience from an experience
Yeah, I was like,
experience that you might find completely meaningless, which is why communication is important, guys.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
important. What
know.
was it nice at least
Straight up, though.
ish?
It was good. I mean, we
Okay.
went to like, I'm not vegan, but we went to like a vegan restaurant, so it was kind of like no offense to any people who are vegan. It was just interesting because
Not your thing.
you
It
know,
wasn't
like when
your
that
thing, yeah.
topic comes up, like, oh, I'm vegan and you're not vegan, and you're like, oh, well, I eat meat.
I
kinda
feel like a
thing.
piece
It's
of shit
super
right
awkward.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like already awkward at that point.
Yeah.
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 So that was what it was like. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll just have some water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like tried the food. It wasn't bad, you know, but yeah. It's just an awkward topic. I
It
feel like.
is. It is. Fun. How about you? What was your
Uh,
last one like?
My last date was, but it was not a first date with this person. It was the fourth or fifth.
Oh.
Yeah. We were we did a picnic. It was good weather. I mean, I at least told you that I'm in a relationship since 1 month now.
Oh
with
my
this
god,
person.
congratulations. Oh.
And yeah, the first date was like it
yeah,
was
like
Corona.
how was your first date with her?
it was Corona time. Everything was closed. So yeah, I drive to her. She's around about 1 hour away from me. It's okay. 1 hour, it's okay for me. I mean, I have a car.
Oh wait, you're cutting
No.
off. I couldn't hear you.
1 hour is yeah, nothing special for me. And she showed me her city, and we have a good time. We've talked a lot. We walked through the city, through the park, and there was water. We sit down and talk, and time was running so fast. We sit there for 4 hours and talking straight.
Yes, I love that.
No one watches on their phones. That's really important for me on the
Very
first date.
important. Very important. Yeah.
Your phone is in your pocket
Bag or
or
pocket. Yeah.
something, and it never comes out on the date, because I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but on a first date, when yeah, your date always stares at their phone and writes someone back, I mean, that's make me uncomfortable. I can't say
Yeah,
this
you're
word.
right.
I can't speak it.
That's okay.
Sorry for my bad English. I'm from Germany. So,
You're doing great. You're doing
You're fine.
great.
We know what you're saying.
Yeah.
okay. And yeah, it was really great. We had a lot of fun. We talked about so many things. We laugh a lot. Yeah, we met again and again and again. Now, since 1 month, we been a couple, and tomorrow I'm met her.
Tomorrow you're gonna go meet her?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yay,
go
that's awesome.
hiking.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's exciting. Okay. I like that, and I like that you guys talked, we're gonna get into this later about like physical intimacy and stuff on first dates and things like that, and that's fine, like you do you, right? But I really feel like these days when people are pursuing a serious relationship and they're actually seriously dating, it's weird because they're also not ready, or they're not interested in a lot of talking. And that always confuses me because I feel like those two go hand in hand. Like if you're looking for a long-term companion, a long-term partner, a life partner, eventually you're gonna get old, right? And like the sex is gonna eventually fade, right? And eventually you're not gonna be able to do all the things and activities that you're able to do now. What's gonna keep you guys together is like the connection that your souls have made through talking about things and connecting on things and really putting in effort and time into getting to know each other. And it's weird when I hear, like, I had a friend who had a date, and I was like, I think she was saying we're gonna hang out for an hour or something. We're gonna watch a movie, and then we're gonna watch a movie, and then we're gonna head home. Like we're just gonna go like to our own places. And I was surprised. I was like, okay, are you guys planning? No, she said we're going to a movie, and then we're gonna have dinner for an hour or so, and then I'm gonna leave. And then like I'll see how I feel about the date. And then she met the person again, but when the second time that she met them, I was suggesting to her to do an activity, since the first time she met them, it was not a lot of talking, since it was during a movie, and then they had an hour to converse over dinner. So the next date, when she was asking for my suggestion, I said the second date I think should be something where you can talk more, get to know the person a little more. And she was so hesitant about spending time with this person for a long period of time because she kept thinking, what are we going to talk about? I don't know what to talk about. And it wasn't just because she didn't have a connection with this person. That was just her idea of relationships in general. She's like, I don't want to talk to that person that much, which is really confusing to me, if you ask me. But
Wait, does that make sense?
it doesn't. But there are a lot of people that just don't enjoy or want to talk too much to the person, yet they want to be in a relationship. So if there's anyone like that in chat, just know that if you want a successful relationship, you're gonna have to talk to the person. You're gonna have to get to know them, and it's not all about you and them getting to know you and them putting time in you. You got to put that time in them too, because they're a human being. that also wants love and attention and affection.
The question is the person who said, okay, I don't want really much with my partner. Is this a relationship only because that she can say I am in a relationship, or is it a relationship that she can say I will get old with this person, but I don't really want to know him? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And that's what I asked her, because I said, if you're looking for that type of long-term relationship, your method is not really going to work. But if
Yeah.
you're looking for just a relationship because you want to be in a relationship, which there are a lot of people like that, we all get lonely. Who doesn't want to be loved? Like at the end of the day, who doesn't want that? I mean, we all go through pockets in our life, or some of us stay like that, where we just don't want to be in a relationship, and that's cool too. Like, to each their own, right? But a lot of people do want to find love, and they do want that at the end of the day. But I don't think that you can get that without communicating with the person, right? Like, it's just very strange. I
That's
don't know.
the base of all.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry. What I was saying is that we all get lonely, and we want companionship, and we want love, and sometimes that's what people are looking for. But I think it's not healthy to just be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship, unless you are conscious of that and you have made your partner aware of that, and then you guys are just doing your thing. That's fine. But it's very rare to find people who are themselves conscious of, like, I'm in this relationship just because I want to be in a relationship, and then they communicate that to their partner. Usually it's like a uneven distribution of, like, love and care, where they have their mind set up that this is not going to go anywhere, but they haven't told the partner, which is very unfair if you ask me. It's actually a terrible thing to do. I'm just going to catch up on chat. The zoo is fun. Cece, I don't think I've ever been to the zoo in Toronto. At least I can't remember it. And that's going to be a conversation that I'm going to have in my future Real Talks. But there's a reason that now that I'm in a different place in my life, I have made the choice to discontinue going to the zoo and circus and all of that.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, are you, like, looking for a relationship? Like, where are you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Shit, girl.
Yeah, girl. Where are you sitting?
I'll be honest with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
3 years ago, yeah, it's gonna be 3 years in September. 3 years ago, I got out of a serious relationship that was supposed to end in marriage and like an engagement. We were talking about it and we were planning it, and it completely destroyed me after it didn't work out, and we had made the difficult decision to not continue being together. And there were, like, legit conversations, legit things that we just couldn't see eye to eye on. And I think a side note about that is, the sad thing is, I knew these things were going to eat at us, but I chose to ignore it because I just wanted to be happy for whatever time that I could be happy. And I talked about this in another talk that I had about romantic relationships, where I said that the commitment that I've made to myself going forward is, if I see a red flag, despite how much it's going to hurt me to end things or whatever, I'm just going to, like, listen to myself, because I knew that kids was the thing. I don't want to have kids. He was unsure about having kids, but he was kind of like, I knew him, and I knew he was, like, leaning more towards having kids. I can't live a life where someone is giving up something like that when I know it's going to bite me in the ass later. You know what I mean? Like, they're eventually going to get old and they're going to want children. Like, if you have it in you where you want children and you're leaning more towards having children, but you're giving it up for someone, and you're not, like, completely wholeheartedly giving it up for them, because I don't think that's how he did it. I think it was a give and take with him, where he felt if he's giving up kids, I should give up wanting a partner who is practicing the religion that I practice. We were the same religion, but he just wasn't practicing and I was practicing. And I don't think love is a give and take in that way. Like, if I give something up for you, I'm not gonna be like, what you gonna give up for me now? It's like I think love, you just wholeheartedly just give things up without expecting something in return. And after that relationship ended, it destroyed me to the point where like I just didn't want to love. I didn't believe in love. I didn't want to be loved. So I had my time where I just could not care less about the people I was seeing or like who I was with, in the sense that I didn't care about their feelings. I would tell them how it is, and I'd tell them like I really don't necessarily want something long term with you, or I would at least be honest with them about that. But after 3 years of just healing, I think I've come to the point where I'm starting to believe in love again, and I'm starting to believe that there is someone for each of us out there if we want that type of life. And I'm just kind of using this time to work on myself, because I don't think I'm like completely ready for a relationship just yet. But I'm definitely closer than I was 3 years ago and 2 years ago and a year ago even. So that's better. That's good, I guess.
That's crazy though. Like,
Yeah.
the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think about it like, I wonder how different my life would be. Right? Because I feel like
Good for you though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of like realized what you wanted, I guess, or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
What was best for you, I guess, in that
Yeah.
situation. You didn't like force something because it's like, you gotta get married, you know?
Yeah. And I trust me, I wanted to force it so bad, because he was
Yeah.
as close as I got to finding the perfect partner. Like, no jokes,
Mhm.
guys. He was so good to me. And like, even to this day, like, I think he's an amazing person. And like, unfortunately, we don't talk anymore, but I really do hope that he finds someone that makes him happy and who he makes happy. But imagine how difficult that it was to let that go. So it really did destroy me, but I'm so glad that I'm healing. So thank you. I'm just gonna catch up on chat a little bit. I thought you were young and immortal. Well, I don't know if I'd want to be immortal, to be honest. I feel like it would be very lonely to be immortal. Immorality bores me. Oh, why does it bore you? Solo Dodo.
Immortality.
Yeah.
I mean, just based off what you said, yeah, like you can have all the knowledge in the world, you can live for centuries, millennia, however long you wish to keep going, but then like you are gonna keep finding people that you're gonna want to connect with, that you're gonna love, and then like they're gonna leave you before you leave them. So it's just like, what's the point of living forever when you can't even like continuously share this feeling, this life, this whatever? So I'm just like, fuck immortality. Like, I'd rather just die with someone that I care for, or die with people that I care for.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather live longer.
There we go.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather have a longer lifespan, but I
Yeah.
don't want to live forever. There's
Yeah.
just no point of living forever for no reason, for no cause. So
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that living longer bit. That was a good discussion on the TV show The Good Place. I finished it yesterday. It was bittersweet. The discussion of immortality or of like healing and relationships, Slay. While you answer that, I will move on to question number 3, which is, what are actions or mannerisms that can make a date go poorly / make you not want to see them again? I'll say one for me.
Yeah. There you go.
If they are just talking incessantly about themselves. I met someone who he was talking about himself for, guys, like a 45-minute phone conversation. Well, it was like the first time that I talked to him on the phone. So for me, I'm gonna like act like it was a first date. It wasn't. It was just my first time talking to them. But imagine we hung out and he would do the same thing. Like, that's annoying. That's annoying. I would never want to be with a person like that who's just talking so much. Like, that's really annoying. That means you have no interest in asking about me. He didn't ask me one question about what I do for a living, what I like want out of life, anything. So I think that would be one of my really annoying things. Yeah. How about you, Tyrion?
being on your phone, I think that's like a given, right? Like it's funny that when you go to dates, you're like, oh, I should put my phone away, right? Like you have to think about that
Oh
because
yeah.
technology is like so integrated now, like into our lives that it's like, oh yeah, I'm going on a date, I should put my phone away, like for once, you know? Because usually you'd be like
Just
sitting,
having it
having coffee
out.
with your friend, and you're both like, let's say you're checking your phone or something. So it's like interesting. Um, I guess that or like I have like this pet peeve with people who like eat really loud.
It's
Not to like offend
disgusting.
anybody, but that is
No,
like a pet
you
peeve
can
of
offend
mine.
them. That's bad manners,
Like
bro.
people who don't close their mouth
Mm,
kind of like eating. So
it's
if we're like out to eat, that's like a
disgusting.
I'm about to
Yeah.
fling some mom spaghetti at your face.
that's like a huge thing. It's like a I don't know how to explain it.
It's a cringe session. I've heard
Yeah.
people like eat like this.
Look, Mike, I'm gonna use my hands face
It's
first. Okay,
disgusting. No,
I'm
I'm not
going
into it. I'm not into it. I didn't like that. I was watching Raven to see if she took it personally. What you mean? I close my mouth when I eat. Unless I'm like, sometimes I talk with my mouth full, but that's just like for the memes sometimes on like.
Yeah. But it's not like you're chewing with your mouth.
But
like,
I
I'm
don't
like,
do that on like dates
Yeah.
and stuff. Like when I'm being
Same.
serious, I don't do that. But like
Yeah.
if I'm like gaming or something, like it's just for being silly. But it's never like the actual deal. Like that's very
Yeah.
bad manners.
Yeah.
My mom would like freaking backhand me if she was commenting
Oh,
that.
right, same.
Yeah, she's like, I didn't raise you like that.
Same. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a gross one. Would you say something to the person?
Oh gosh.
Or if you don't close your mouth,
Right?
No, but I probably wouldn't, but it would really like internally piss me off. Like it's not even that I hate the person for doing it. It's just one of those things that really get to me. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
get it.
cringe.
Yeah,
Like, even
yeah,
my
it's like a
sister will do
cringe.
it sometimes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, shush, like stop it, you know?
So it's like that extreme for you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. It's like the weirdest thing. So, yeah.
I'm gonna just eat in the corner. I'm gonna make sure you don't watch me. That's all I'm gonna say.
She can watch you, just close your mouth.
No, she can't. She can't enjoy all of this. I'm just gonna eat it over there in the fucking corner. She ain't watching it. It's over.
It's over. Fun, do you want to share?
Yeah, I don't know. I never experienced something like this that I can say, no, I never want to meet this person again, or I want to stop the date right now. Gladly, I never experienced this, but I really agree to the things you guys said, and I'm hoping I never
Yeah.
will experience it. So far, I'm lucky. Fingers crossed that this will never happen to me. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you haven't had an experience with that, or you can't think of something that like, man, if I met someone and they did this, no.
I'm a very tolerant person, but I think when it happens, I will know it, and
Yeah.
I don't think that I would say it, but I think I
It
bring
bother
the
you.
date to an end, and then I end the whole thing. Okay. I don't think you are the type that I want, that I like. And go on. Also in a friendly way.
I
Don't-
really like that.
That's
I
very nice.
really
I would've
like
been like,
that.
Hey, bring the check, separate it. Hey, it's been real nice, but I gotta go. Catch you later.
Okay, wow.
I would never quit the date, the evening. I mean, you can have a great evening with the person, but then for me, at this point, in a friendly way, and after that, I would make things clear.
I really like that.
Because I experienced it so much that the other person don't say anything about how it was for them, and you sit there and think, okay, for me it was Yeah, so and
Great.
so.
Yeah, it was fine.
But
Yeah.
the other person, you don't know anything. Did I make something wrong? Did she like it or not? And there's no feedback, and yeah, there's no conversation, and that is something that I can't work with.
Yeah. I think communication is so key. Like, if it went poorly, don't ghost the person, guys. Don't do that. We've all done it. Don't do it. It's like, let's grow. Let's be better. Like, don't do the ghosting. Just copy and paste the message and have it ready. By the way, I've done this before. I have a message. I used to have a
Oh,
template.
no.
No jokes. I
She's
used to have a
like, dear Solo.
exactly.
It's at least something.
I would have a template ready because I tend to just kind of cut people out of my life
She
at
like,
that
you ain't
time.
it.
No, so I would explain to them saying that, at blah, 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 I don't think that this friendship is going to work. I just wanted to be transparent and let you know that instead of disappearing, I hope everything goes well for you, blah, blah, blah. And if you are that lazy, or if you know that that's the same message that's going to go to everybody, make a template, copy and paste it, save it in your notes, lock it, so that it doesn't get deleted. That's something that you can do, but don't leave people hanging and like disappear on them. That's definitely for sure. What about you, Solo Dolo? What's your thing?
I feel like we're all kind of on the same page. I mean, I personally, I feel like checking your phone is one thing, because I would check my phone to look at the time, because
Okay.
I don't have a watch. Now, I know some people feel indifferent about that, which is totally fine. But being on your phone for long periods of time, there's a difference. Like, and then I feel like you're not engaging, you don't wish to engage, you're just feeling like, hey, I'm getting free food off of this guy, this is fine. And it's like, no, I'm not here just to pay your food bill, and then you just go off and then talk to Joe Rogan over there. Like, no, fuck that. But I'm saying, like, yeah, there has to be interaction. I don't mind silence either. Like, just sometimes when you're walking,
There's a
or
lull.
driving,
Yeah.
there's, some people just enjoy the presence of that person. So, like, I know not all the time am I just thinking of topics like, oh, I wonder if she randomly likes, sock puppets. Like, what? Like, okay, like, just ask the question. It's like, brain, calm down. I don't know if this is a good conversation starter. It's like, so do you like ice in your water or not? Like, I know I run through scenarios through my head all the time, and just like, what do I think they might find interesting? What if I bring up something that they don't find interesting? And sometimes that just like discourages me to even like want to keep talking in general. So yeah, I want the person to be engaged with me. Like, hey, like, I heard that you like going to beaches. It's like, what beaches have you been to? And it's like, where do you want to explore? Or, one time I actually went out of town, and a friend was like, can you give me a bag of sand? I'm just like, a bag of sand? She's like, yep, just bring me home a bag of sand. And I did it. I was like, here you go, a bag of sand from across the world. So, and she still has that bag of sand
Oh,
to this
that's
day.
cute.
So, just finding something that would make the connection a lot easier and a lot more.
I agree, though, that it has to be both people. Because, like, if you're the only person constantly bringing up topics and asking questions, kind of like what I said, it can get really annoying when you're the one constantly, and then they just answer your question, and then that's it. And then they just answer your question, and then there's a lull. Which
Shut up, Slay.
What is happening?
The good bag, yes. It was like a little tiny bag, but she loved it. Actually, something to like follow that up, that I find, like you said, like, you ask the question and they just want to answer it, and then they don't want to ask something back. Like, I know something that I enjoy doing is that I didn't buy the bag, Slay. I actually had my own little bag, and I put sand in it. There was a seashell in it too. She loved it. It's like, when I asked a question, I even answered my own question, because I feel like that should be something that you should do. Is like, why are you asking the question if you don't have an answer for it already? You must have thought about it, or you thought, hey, this was something of a good topic to bring up. Like, why not answer it yourself? So I feel like a lot of people should do that. And then I don't call it a trick. It's an experiment. I call it my social experiment, that like, when I'm interested in someone and I'm talking to them, and like, I know that I'm the conversation starter, I step back. and I like to see if that person
Ah.
is actually interested in me. Like, because I know women will actually talk to a guy, or vice versa. A guy will talk to a girl if they are truly interested and
Yes.
want to talk to them. Like, they will
Yes.
actually hit them up. So I do that every time. I'm like, I started doing it since probably like after my first relationship ended. I'm just like, and that was back in high school. I haven't been in a relationship 8 years, but
Mhm.
like, that's something that I always like to see. I'm like, okay, is this person actually interested in me? Like, I know I can start the conversation. I know I kind of keep things going, but I want to see them start it up for me. And a couple times has it happened, or a few times that it happened, like it fails because they don't want to talk, and then like it'll be a day or two later, and I don't get offended at all because I'm just like, all right, well then I'm just gonna go talk to somebody else or just hang out with friends or play games, and then like finally they'll hit me up, it's like, hey, I haven't heard from you. I'm like, yeah, what's up? It's like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm good. What's going
Oh,
on?
this is after you guys have gone back and forth, talked a bit, and you're trying to continue a conversation like the next day
Yeah,
or something. Oh yeah, that's now I totally understand. Yeah, you can't always be the one messaging them saying like, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? What you doing? Oh, I heard about this. I hope it goes well today." Yeah, I get that. That's frustrating. I'm gonna catch up on chat right now. It's a good show. I recommend it. Yeah, I've heard about the show as well from you, and I think D said he watches it too, if I'm not mistaken. Immortality. What to do with eternity? The nature of humanity. Interesting. I just don't like the way it's shot. From the clip you showed me, I don't like the way it's shot. If it's what I think it is, if it's the clip I'm thinking about, I just don't like the way it's shot, and that is like hella distracting for me. If they use their hands to eat. Listen, sometimes it's a cultural thing. Like sometimes when I'm eating biryani or something, I'm using my hands, bro. It just feels like like more natural if you're eating an ethnic food with their hands. It's meant to be eaten with their hands. But if it's not meant to be eaten with their hands and they're like getting super messy and stuff, I understand that to be
look, I'm going in. I ain't
gross.
stop.
I'm a messy eater.
Face
I'll be
first.
honest. So like,
Imagine eating a burrito with fork and knife.
no,
Oh,
that's a
I would be
no.
like, what are you doing? Like,
What are
you
you
better unwrap the
doing?
foil and eat that burrito. You better stuff it in your face like there's no tomorrow.
I hate eating though on the first date. Like, I feel like it's so weird. Like, hey, yeah, like let's
Really?
watch each other eat food.
Okay,
You know, I just
fair.
think it's a weird first like impression. Like, hey, we're gonna sit down and shove food in our mouths like in front of each other. That's just me though. Like, I tend to like stay away from those kinds of things for the first date.
Yeah.
Third date. All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Now.
it's
Let's
more of
go
like
eat
a
now. Oh, you eat?
yeah, we're comfortable with each
Yeah.
other. Like,
You like food.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I actually totally understand that because I think about that sometimes. Like when you're eating food, it's sometimes this strangely can be this strange like
Yeah, like, I don't-
private experience
yeah.
because it's like you're consuming food that's giving you sustenance. Sometimes I go too deep with it, but I like no lie, guys. I've caught myself watching people eat sometimes when I'm in the mall food court. This is I know it's so weird, but I'll just be watching them and it almost makes me have more empathy for human beings. It's so weird. I know. Hear me out. Because when I watch someone eat, it's like, holy shit, we're the exact same. Like, I see you hungry and you're scarfing down your food because you're hungry. And I do that too. When I'm hungry, I eat and I like need to feed myself. And it's such a vulnerable state when you're hungry and you're eating. So I understand that. It's probably not that deep the way that you look at it, but like I can understand how it could be like, let's just wait till we're a little more comfortable, you know.
I hate to cut you off, but do you want those biscuits? Okay, nah, all right.
If they chew loud while they look at their phone, now that's a double whammy. That's a
Man,
double
man.
whammy. No.
I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and I'm not coming back. Yeah.
They're like, where you going?
I'm not
Run.
coming back. Hi, Jess. Have you guys ever done that to someone? Gone to the bathroom and then left?
Not yet.
Not yet. I've done it with friends, but I came back. But that was
Okay.
just
It must be really bad if you guys go to the bathroom and just never come back.
Man, you guys
Especially,
should've opened in public.
especially if there's
I
a
would,
bill
I would feel so
unpaid.
bad if I would do this.
Yeah.
I would feel so bad. So no, I
no.
never done it. Let's
I
go. Let's go
would-
back to hell,
I
but
would-
don't leave.
I would definitely do it if someone gave me a reason to.
Yeah.
For
Right.
sure. But I haven't had that yet, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just do it just to do it. Like we walk in and be like, okay, let's.
Wait. You cut off. What did you say?
I was like, we'll meet at the restaurant. It's like, okay. Back out the door.
Are you saying something naughty? Because it keeps bleeping every time you say that bit.
Really?
For real, right?
I'm getting censored in your stream? That's rude. No. Okay. Hopefully, we're okay right now. My mic does that sometimes. It'll cut out. I said we will both meet at the restaurant, and right when we're about to walk to the table, I walk the other direction out the doors. I'm like, yes,
Oh!
I didn't know.
At least it's right in the beginning where they see you leaving. That's at least a little more.
Like, where you
important.
going? Home.
Slay says, you know what I got paranoid of? Eating loudly in the cinema. I'd be sitting next to someone trying to wait for loud parts to rush the food into my mouth and chew. I've actually done that before as well with my sub. Because sometimes... Oh, but see, I guess it's not about chewing for me. It's about the cackling of the paper. Of the wrap, the paper that the wrap comes in. So I wait for a loud like explosion or something, and then I'm like unwrapping my wrap. Or a good tip, guys, is while like before the movie starts and the trailer start, do all your unwrapping and have it like ready to go, so that when the movie starts, you can just like dig in. I'm sure people already knew that trick, but like
You
I
guys get subs at your theater?
I'd sneak them in.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was like, we don't get that. Like, you'll get kicked out if you bring, like, Subway
Yeah.
into the theater.
Well, they can suck my dick, okay? Because
That's
first of
why
all,
you sneak it in.
that's
Sis.
first of all. Listen, movie theater.
You have your
people.
own baggies. I be
Okay.
having ribs, chicken wings,
Yeah.
potato salad.
Y'all got
The whole
overpriced
barbecue.
food. Y'all got shite food. And then on top of that shite food, it's not even like, what if I don't want to have pizza? What if I want to have a shawarma wrap? Are you going to give me that? No. So I'm going to make my own arrangements. Okay?
Right. That's one right next door. Let me head over there real quick.
Exactly. Oh, Dairy Queen? Oh, you don't have ice cream? I'm going to get my own ice cream and
Let me go
bring it
get
in.
this slushy real fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, movie theater prices are just insane. And, like,
Exactly.
they're like almost comparable to stadium prices. I'm like, I'm not about to
Tell
pay
me.
$20 for a pop and a large popcorn. Like, you must be crazy.
And your popcorn is not even flavored like Colonel's popcorn, so don't give me that.
Mhm.
Same, especially horror movies. Oh yeah, and the thing about horror movies is that there are enough screams and loud noises for you to be able to get your chomping on. It gets to where I'm there with my hand on the food thinking, come on, let me eat. I do that too, except it's with the paper. Hi, Ash.
I've
Dear
never done that because
recipient.
I'm always that person that just, like, crinkles open everything.
Get it.
I don't even care.
Get it.
I'm rude, I guess.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, like,
This a bag of Doritos. What you want me to do?
like a romantic scene, you'll just hear me. Oh, shoot.
So there's like moaning going on, and then there's
Yeah.
Tyrion like ripping open paper bags.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Philip. Imagine if you Jess617, thank you so much for the follow. You see that Raven? That is you. You are now under my wing. Welcome. Hi, Ruby. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I ate a burrito with a fork and knife. Nothing wrong with that. There are so many things wrong with that, Mike. CC_kitty. Thank you so much for the follow. You see that Raven? That is you. You are now under my wing. Welcome. But yeah, it's like people who eat pizza with a fork and knife. Why? Unless it's a very floppy pizza. Why? Eat pasta with a fork. Eat roti and curry with hands. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, if it's a specific ethnic food, I can understand the hand bit. The Good Place is shot like sitcom on a stage, but the look is a part of the story. I don't know. I'm worried I'll choke on my food. Has that ever happened to you, Jess? I don't think I've ever choked on my food in a gathering that's not been like solo, by myself or with family. I don't think I've ever choked on food. Just walk away slowly. Disappear forever. I eat fast as fuck. Yo, okay, this is my thing about people eating fast. Then I'm sitting there and you're watching me, and it's really awkward. I have had so many friends that eat faster than me, and it can get really awkward. So y'all need to slow down, okay? And it's not good for your digestive system. Chew that food, take it slow, enjoy it, savor it, take your time. Ain't nobody rushing with the dog, you know, no one's chasing you around. But it's a trained condition. When I was small, I used to take forever, so my dad beat... oh, I'm sorry. Oh my god. As soon as I put food in my mouth, I had to have my spoon... Okay, well, now you're an adult, and hopefully that won't happen to you now. And please explain to your dad that that's not healthy to, like, scarf down your food. But I never do that. I'm too nice. Yeah, Cece, I think I would only, like what Tyrion said, I think I would dip on a date like that if they really gave me a reason to. Like if they said something hella no, see, I think if they said something really inappropriate, I think now the person I am, I would call them out. But back then, like during the last 3 years, I don't think I had the confidence to call people out, so I'd probably dip. But now I think I would just call them out and be like, wow, that was really inappropriate. Or like, that was really rude. I think the dipping would happen if I felt unsafe. That's when I would dip.
True, that's a good reason.
Yeah, if I felt unsafe.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, it's actually really spooky if you think about it. Like I know you're meeting a random person in public, but I don't know. People can get really creepy and weird, so... so did Rave. Yeah, my mic used to cut out too. I'm not sure how I fixed it, but that used to happen too. I don't think it's Discord. I think it's just a mic problem because my mic does the same thing or did the same thing. Good idea. Pro tips. That's what y'all here for. Them pro tips. Sneak in all the snacks. Exactly. I'm snuck in a Happy Meal before. Yes, Jess. That's the way to go. But guess what? Even if the smell was obvious, ain't nobody cares. And don't be that person who's just like goes and reports someone because you saw them bring in a Happy Meal. Let's not be those people either.
Don't be a Karen.
I was gonna say that. Don't be that person, because that's hella annoying too. That is ridiculous. It's like those people, side note, it's like those people who report people having sex in a car. I understand if it's a playground and it's a school, like inappropriate place, but just because you ain't getting some, right, don't go report that. If they're not bothering you or like they're doing it in a secluded area, leave them alone.
My kids play on that basketball court. How dare you?
Leave them alone. Oh my God, leave them alone. I didn't care unless it stank or you were rude or obvious about it. Okay. By the way, for the record, Slay worked in a movie theater as a representative, like an I forgot a box office, like a attendant. I'm sorry, I forgot. Customer service rep. So that's why he's saying like I didn't care unless you were blatant about your food. The food pays the wages, ticket pay the studios. Oh, rip, now I feel bad. The food pays the wages. I mean, I do feel bad, but at the same time, who doesn't want to... Sometimes people want to snack when they're watching a movie, and all the snacks that are there are not really that great. So, I eat pizza with a spoon and knife. Nothing wrong with that. Mike, you better be joking, because that's some next level crime. Freaking spoon and a knife. It isn't like a stage. I'll send you the trailer later. Okay, cool. Yeah, why the spoon? I choked on a popcorn at the movies. I have definitely choked. I get nervous and rush. Ooh. So you like rush becoming a fast eater, meaning, Jess? Yeah, please leave it in videos. Not a fun time. Any beating I got, I definitely deserved. I may have left out a vital piece of information. I took so long to eat that my food would get dry, so I'd throw it. Oh, well, yeah, then I guess that's why you got the beats. Not that I'm condoning parental abuse, domestic violence. I'm just saying, like, maybe that, I guess you're saying that's why you deserved it. Under my sister's spot, so she'd get in trouble. Oh my God. I got beat, and that's why I deserve it. Gotcha. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. The next question is... what are some red flags to look out for on a first date? I think for me, some red flags would be if the person is, I know I mentioned before when they don't ask you enough questions about yourself and they always talk about themselves. I think that's a huge red flag. And I understand some people might defend that and be like, "Well, what if they're nervous so they talk a lot?" I think you can tell when someone is nervous and that's why they're rambling, as opposed to they just don't care. They really don't care why you're there. It's like we see that on the extreme in movies. Luckily, I've never experienced it, but you know, in movies, you hear the guy saying, "Yeah, I just closed a deal on Wall Street. It's like $70 million. You know, not a big deal. And I got a couple cars in the garage too, like 2 Ferraris, and got a third one on the way. Yeah, I've done really good for myself. I came from and they just go on, and you're just like throwing up in your mouth because you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, hello, you want to ask me about me, maybe? Like, I think that's probably one of my biggest red flags. Of course, aside from the obvious, like, actually, sorry, this is not obvious, but this is another red flag. If they mistreat the waiter or waitress, I think that's a huge red flag. I've never experienced that, but I know if someone does that, that is a huge, like, that's a indication of your character. Like, if you don't know how to treat people who are in the service role, I think that would be a red flag for me. Yeah. What about you, Solo Dolo?
It's kind of hard, but yeah, I feel like not being engaging is one thing, and I guess like shooting down that person's interests or things that they enjoy doing. So I know you may try to look for those things in the beginning, but I don't always come forward and say like, I'm into cosplaying, I go to anime conventions or stuff like that. So that one's just kind of like on the low.
Yeah.
But if I already know that person, I'm like, yo, I know you talk about anime.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like if they just shoot down that kind of things, they don't really respect your beliefs, or they don't have any ambition or drive. Like, yeah, going through life, doing things that I need to do. I was like, that's cool, ride it out. But at the same time, like, you're not about to go do anything. Like, you're not going to school. You're not really working. You live in your mama's house. You vouching, you vulturing off of your, like, other siblings or whatever. Like, you ain't doing it for yourself. Like, I don't find that very attractive.
That is a good one.
I was like, you're not doing anything for yourself. Like, you just wish to be stagnant, and that's your choice. And I'm like, yeah, no, I have ambitions and dreams. I have things that I want to do. I want to get out wherever I am. I want to go do things. And, I'm not about to have you just mooch off of me and be like, yeah, I'm going to take you to, Tahiti or something. And be like, oh, let's go. And be like, but you need to pay for something. Like, come on.
I really like that. The goals and being driven and having a vision. I really like that, because there unfortunately are still people that like, are in their into later on in life, like their late 30s or something, and it's different. Like, hold on. Don't mistake what I'm about to say. Don't mistake what I'm about to say for like ageism or something. We all thought we were going to be at whatever place at 30, okay? Some of us don't, our life doesn't go exactly the way it's planned, or we think that it's planned, right? So that's a completely different story. I'm not saying like, well, you didn't achieve this, and this. What I'm saying is you have no goals. That's what is upsetting. You're not 18, you're not 20, you're not 24, where you're just like still kind of finding yourself. If you haven't had a general idea of what you want out of life by like at least like 30, 35, 36, 7, that's a red flag. That's a red flag for sure. Yeah, that's a really good one. What was your one right before that? You had mentioned another one. You were like not being engaging, but there was another one that you had mentioned.
I think I said shooting down
Yes.
their interests or hobbies or beliefs or stuff like that. Like, there's not that connection.
Yes.
And I know some people may have their beliefs in certain things, politics, religion, whatever. And it's like sometimes if they just don't connect, or at least if they don't respect it,
Yeah.
then it's just going to be a problem. That's just kind of hard to deal with in any case. Is like, yeah, like I view these things, and it's like you view these things, and like, well, they all contradict each other. So it's like, yeah, opposites attract, but this is not about it. This
No.
is not it.
It's
I
not
mean,
that
like,
kind of thing.
that's a no for me, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need you to like one thing. Like, you don't even like music. What the fuck you listen to? The outside? What's
Yeah.
white noise?
Nature.
Listen to your heartbeat?
Nature
Like,
sounds.
come on. You don't even sing in the shower? Come on.
Yeah.
You ain't deaf.
It's not your
Come on.
thing. I like that
Yeah.
you mentioned that because for me, a religious choice that I made became a personal choice, and that's not drinking. And I know if I did ever go on a first date, and I think normally people order drinks on a first date or like a date, and if I said I don't want to drink and they ridiculed me for that, or they made me feel like uptight or super conservative for choosing not to drink because of my religious beliefs, but also because of my personal choices, I think that would really bother me. Or the example about not having kids. If I mention that I don't want to have kids and they ridicule me for that, boy, I'm leaving. Like, I don't need that I don't need you to validate my choices in life. Like, who are you? Sit down. Like, no. That's definitely a red flag for sure. What about you, Fun?
There's one really, really big red flag that I experienced a lot on first date.
Ooh.
When, yeah, sadly, when your date is talking the whole time about their ex-partner.
Still love it.
I mean, I don't want to know about anything of him. I don't care who who this man is, what he's done. I'm here for you and with you, and she talks and talks. I say,
my god.
I think stop it, please. No,
He's like, stop
No.
it, please.
Tell me about your dog.
Anything else.
Anything else but this guy or
this
girl.
is, for me personally, this is the biggest red flag on a first date or on every date.
Yeah.
No, don't do it, guys, girls. Don't do it. No.
Yeah. I think it's
Trust me.
different if there's a point to it, right? Like like Tyrion asked me the question and I gave you the backstory. I think it's different when you're answering a question or you're showing how you've grown or like what you've been through or whatever. But harping on it and constantly talking about the whole, like, and then we did this and then he said this and then we did this and then we had a fight about this, which I really didn't like, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is not a venting session. So, yeah.
You need a therapist?
That's,
You need
yeah,
a
it ain't me. It ain't me.
I'm not the one. I'm listening, but I ain't listening.
Yeah. Tyrion, have you said yours? I don't think so.
No, well, Mike said mine in chat. Like, I was gonna say if, like, they don't look like their profile picture, like, if you do use dating
The
apps,
catfishing.
like,
Catfish.
yeah, stuff like that, I guess. Or,
You said your name was Ray. That's
yeah,
a
I
bad.
think, like, somebody that parties a lot, too. Like, that's a red flag for me. Like, I don't know if you'd figure that out on a first date, but that's definitely, like, a red flag. Or, I don't really know. Like, red flags are hard to say on first dates. Like, you usually find them out, like,
As
down
you
the
go.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
But
that's
you
why it's
kind of
so.
know like what you're looking for. I feel like most people kind of have a
Yeah.
standard. Like, you know,
I
I
don't
want
know. Yeah. I'm very like into finding out like what someone's like. I don't really have like a I want this type with these features. Like
Oh, it's like a
Yeah,
case
no,
by case
nothing like
basis. Like a
that.
case by case basis.
yeah, I'm very like chill. I'm very relaxed. So I'm very
you
like I like absorb people and like try to understand who they are and go off that versus like
Having a
I'm
load
looking
and
I don't need
more.
a checklist of like they need to have this. No, I'm just saying like, you
Yeah.
know, you kind of know what you are looking for in a person.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would date somebody who had, like, not, like, no goals, but, like, let's say they were a little lost at the moment, so they didn't have any goals, like, I'd be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think people mature in different, like, at
Oh,
different paces, so maybe like I'm here and they're there, so like I'm okay with like as long as they're a good person, I'm
Yeah.
okay with waiting for their like, kind of maturity thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't-
And that's what you know
But
works
that's
for
me.
you. Exactly. You
Yeah.
know that works for
Yeah,
you.
like I'm adaptable. In that way, I feel like,
Yeah.
um,
I like
'cause I
that.
don't, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Thank
that.
you.
You're
I'm
welcome.
very much the same.
I think for me, I've not gotten, I think maybe it is gotten, maybe just like with time and my experiences, I've become more sure of what I want. So like I just don't have time to make exceptions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what it is for me. But you guys
Yeah.
mentioned something that actually relates to another question. But before I ask that, I'm gonna catch up on chat really quick.
Good Netflix. Interesting.
I'm still alive, so I'm not complaining. I'm glad you're doing okay, Ninja. I know what it means when you say that, so I hope things get better. Yep, I can't slow down eating. Girl, Jess. Okay, Jess, I got a question for you because I've asked this to a few people who speed up, and I was telling this to my friend. I might have been Ash, actually. I can't remember. But I was telling this to a friend, and I was saying, do you want me to help you when you, like, slow down to eat? Do you want me to, like, touch your arm or something? Or, like, mention to you, like, hey, you're doing that thing where you're eating too fast again, just to make you conscious? Or are you conscious of it and you still do it? Because I think that it becomes a habit, but it could also be a conscious thing. So which one is it? I also did the projectors, server, and tech briefly. I'm totally milking that for my CV. Oh, yeah, you should. The IT bit. Red flags if they don't look like their profile picture. Yeah, and I'm going to be talking about that later. Don't yuck my yum. Wait, what? Fried rice. Oh my god, it's been so long. How are you? It's so nice to see you here. Thank you for being here. Wa alaikum salam. I had someone who was on a date with someone who was talking about themselves. I knew her sister. I met her briefly, so she came to talk to me and asked me out there. But she was my friend's little sister, so no. Yeah. That's a little strange. Bye, Ash. Been a super long time for sure. I never sing in the shower. I do my thinking in the shower. I do thinking as well, and sometimes singing. I get real depressed at that time. In the shower? You get depressed in the shower, Solo Dolo? Because you're thinking?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. It's like I'm working out stuff in the shower, so by the time I'm done, it's like I washed off all the crap and can start the day fresh. I like that. Yeah. Hi, Zilla Manila! In 2 months, you find everything out in 2 months. Oh, is that what the dating, I guess, observation is in 2 months? I don't like that though. That's too long. I prefer two people parties with some food and good entertainment. That sounds like a fun date too. Netflix and chill. What kind of Netflix and chill though? Like the Netflix and chill or the Netflix and chill? Because there's a difference. One does not pay for Norwegian Netflix, one of the smallest libraries. Wow. I had no idea. And I thought Portuguese Netflix was back. I know you know what me being alive means, Rave. You know a lot about me. I really do hope things get better, Ninja. And I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'm conscious, but I'm so conscious, it's like I forget how to eat properly. It's a mess. Overthinking problem. Listen, I think a lot of us do that in different ways. Yours just happens to be eating. So I get it, Jess. What I wanted to say, what the tangent is that I wanted to address is, what if you're in a situation, right, where let's say the person says that their name is Raven, and they're age 25, and they are an IT specialist, okay? And then during the date, in conversation, it comes out that their name is something else, their age is something else, and they ain't no IT specialist, they're in human resources management. What you gonna say? What you gonna do?
Who this?
Do you address it? Do you talk about it? Do you leave? Like, what do you do?
So I was expecting thing and I got something else.
Yes. So
Um,
like they're not the
Do they still look
biggest
good?
thing.
Like, are they still attractive?
They still look the same. Like they were fine with their pictures.
Mm,
oh, so they were who they were.
so they were good looking
Yeah.
still. Hmm.
So let's answer it twice. Let's answer in two different ways. What if their picture was different, but like other information was correct? Or and the other answer is, what if their pictures were fine, they're accurate, but the information they gave you was different?
Oh, if the okay, so for the first one, like the picture one, I
Yeah.
would probably I don't know, because I feel like attraction is like obviously like it has to be a thing, like so cliche, but
No, it's not
Not
cliche.
at all.
It is not cliche.
No,
you
what's
know,
cliche
so
is love at first sight. Being attracted to somebody at first glance is a whole nother thing.
Agreed.
Like that is the first thing you see.
Agreed.
You're gonna have to figure it out. Like, oh, okay,
Agreed.
like you look good. I want to get with that.
And all these people that call you shallow, because I've been called shallow for that, they can suck my dick because they're just in denial that attraction has nothing to do with longevity of a relationship. It does, because that's how you initially are like interested
yeah, like you
in
want
talking
to
to
that
someone.
person.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I want your Instagram because I want to look at you.
And,
I don't know.
And
I just made
then
that up,
see
but
like
yeah.
what you're about and all that, yeah. So
Come
the
to my
picture thing, you would continue talking to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
yeah,
would you
so I think with
address if the
that,
information was wrong?
Because
they look good,
No,
but the
I
information-
wouldn't. I probably would just give them the like go on the date, finish the date, and be like, hey, by the way, I'm not really feeling it kind of speech. My copy paste text.
Copy
That's
paste,
maybe.
guys.
Yeah.
Let me head out before I'm too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess if they lied about other stuff,
What else they
man,
gonna
that sucks. Cause like that makes me sound like a horrible person. Like if they're hot, I'd still talk to them or something.
lie?
No, that doesn't sound like a horrible person to me.
I don't say
But
you're
I would
poor.
totally do that just cause, like, sure, why not?
But
You know?
the difference is, in the second scenario, the information was correct, but they lied about their pictures.
Yeah, they probably weren't comfortable with how they really looked.
But that's misleading. So that I understand if you wanted to discontinue.
Yeah, like the picture
date.
one would probably be like a no.
Yeah.
The information one, I guess, would be like,
Still like,
If-
but
I mean, but if they told you eventually, like, why, or like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's like a reason, maybe not, but I'd still like hook up with them and then call it a day.
yeah.
If it doesn't turn into like a relationship, then
Just
that
hit it
doesn't-
and
I don't
quit.
think that makes it
Yeah.
a terrible situation. I don't think that makes you sound like a terrible person. So, that's just my personal opinion. What about you, Fun?
The picture is the right one, but the informations are not the right. I think if you're looking for an one night stand, just go for it. But in any other way, for me there is no way. I mean, if someone lies about such simply informations, like in a Tinder profile, like her name or her age, how can you trust them with something deeper? Yeah, you know. And that's with informations as the same as with a false with another profile picture.
Yep.
I mean, if you're just looking for, then
Fun, yeah.
just go for it. But if it should get deeper, no.
Yeah. I see that. Because, like, you feel like they're starting off the relationship with some kind of lie.
Yeah.
So that's why you wouldn't want to pursue it seriously.
And you don't know if it's going deeper, and he tells you more or she tells you more and more and more, and you can't even know
Which is the correct, what's a lie,
is
what's
this
not.
correct, is this a lie, and I personally I can't.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I asked this question is that I've met a lot of people who say, who have lied about their age online. And when I asked them, and these were people that were coworkers or people that I had just known, and I would ask them, like, why are you lying about your age? Like, just put down your real age. And the answer that I would normally get would be like, everybody lies on their profile. And I'm like, that's terrifying. That is terrible. That better not be the truth. Like, that's scary. I never did. Like, whenever I was on these apps, like, I never lied about, well, my name is a different story because that's a personal thing, but like occupation and all that, like, I didn't lie about those things, or I didn't pretend to be interested in things I wasn't into. I wasn't like, I love basketball, my favorite team's the Raptors, go Raptors, just so guys could be like, wow, she's a Raps fan. Like, I never was misleading that way. So I don't know what that's all about. What about you, Solo Dolo? Why are you laughing?
That made me want to walk out like, oh, fucking Raptors.
Ah! Excuse me?
One time. But either way, yeah, if the profile was right but the information's wrong, yeah, like, I wouldn't trust you. Like, I wouldn't know what you would possibly. I feel like I can't trust you on any spectrum of it, because it's like, why do you have to lie about the things that you do or the things that you like, or just saying like, hey, I made this profile just to get with you? Like, first of all, it's creepy as hell.
That's
some
creepy.
scamming shit. Why you stalking me down like that? Just let a brother know. You don't gotta go through all these hoops and, you know, little trial ways just to get to me. Like, I'm sitting right here. But yeah, like, you gotta lie about who you are, what you do. Like, yo, this sounds really good. Like, this person sounds like, you know, they about to be a CEO somewhere, or they're starting their own business, on like they traveling or whatever. And it's like, dude, the furthest you have traveled is from your bedroom to the outside mailbox and came back in with your slippers and robe. Bitch, stop lying to me. Sorry. But but also, like, hiding your face, like, I get it. Some people aren't comfortable with, you know, how they look sometimes, and I guess that's okay. That's a personal thing. Like, you're just not happy with the way you look. But you don't need to lie to other people and be like, yo, I'm some supermodel. Okay, like, I'm talking to a supermodel? Like, is this real or what? And then I meet you and I'm like, yo, you a trash panda. So, like, I don't want to be lied either way. Like, age, I have nothing to lie about what I say. Like, all my stuff is public. I don't need anything to be private. What you see is what you see. What you get is what you get.
Yeah.
Now, I know people act differently online to in person, and that's another thing that people should be wary about. It's like, hey, they may be all happy-go-lucky, lovey-dovey online and in private with you, but then once they get you in person, it's like, yo, they're a total scumbag. They're a deuce. They might have been a sexual abuser. Like, they could have been a whole myriad of things. And you just don't know. And it's just like, yo, why didn't I not, like, do my research?
Yeah.
Why did I not try to look you up? So, yeah, people just got to be careful with that. That's why I'm, like, not on Tinder, not on Bumble, not on any of these things. Nothing against them, but I feel like I can go out and actually have interactions with them and be like, yo, I like you. Hey, let's get together. And be like, no, that's not what you want. Then I'm like, maybe I just want to fuck around. I'm like, hey, I like what you packing. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just get it down. I'm at the club. You at the club. We here to have some fun. So, you know, you gotta follow the vibe. You gotta, you know the energy. Once you get it, then you get it. But don't lie to me.
Don't
I ain't
lie.
got time for
Yeah.
it.
And I like that you mentioned that. And it's good to know what you want. Know what you want, guys. Like, honestly, don't be that person that goes into an interaction with someone, like, not knowing, because then there's all kinds of miscommunication that happens. You're leading people on, they're leading you on, and it's just a mess. Just, like, know what you want. No, if you're going with the flow, let them know you're going with the flow. If you want a casual relationship, let them know you want a casual relationship. I always say this, that I would appreciate it more if people would just come out right and tell you if they just wanted to sleep with you, as opposed to creating this elaborate life and lie and character and persona to get you. Because I always say this, I think it's extremely pathetic when people have to lie and bend the truth and make themselves out to be someone who they're not, just to mislead you into sleeping with them. You didn't earn that. You knew that you had nothing valuable that would make you attractive to this person if you were honest, so you had to lie and manipulate the situation to get your way. That's pretty pathetic if you ask me. So everyone out there that does that, stop. Don't do that.
You got me.
Don't be
All
that
right,
person.
I'm
just
not
kidding.
I'm really not a black man. I'm a broom. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that, guys, please. It's really sad. And people think that only guys do that, but girls do that too. And either way, it shouldn't be done. No one should be misled. Like, I truly believe in transparency. If you just want sex, or if you just want a relationship, or you're not ready, or you're heartbroken, whatever, just talk about it. Let them know, so that they know what they're getting themselves into. I have a question for you guys. That just made me think of something. Okay, here's the scenario. Okay?
Okay.
All of you guys, I need you to think about this like you're this person. All of you guys do not want a relationship. You don't want anything serious. You don't want any of that, okay? And you meet someone, they're like super into you, and they tell you that, let's get it on. And you're like, I don't really find you attractive, but like maybe I can make it work. But you've made it clear to them you don't really find them attractive. You like kind of like them, like they got a kind of nice personality ish, and you're friends, you're cool, and you don't want anything long term. Okay. Is it bad if you sleep with them? Like, is that breaching some kind of code because you know that they have feelings for you, but you don't have feelings for them? Like, are you taking advantage? Like, is that seen? Do you consider that taking advantage of someone, or doing something wrong, or?
I mean, if you told them, right? Like, you told them you didn't like them. Or are we just not saying anything and sleeping with
you're
them?
saying everything. You're honest from the beginning. I don't really find you attractive. Like, we're good friends. You kind of have a good personality, but I'm not into you like that, and I'm not interested. But you still sleep with them just because.
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with that, because like they're clearly making a decision as well to, go through with it. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm forcing myself upon this person. Like, you kind of told them.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Am I attracted to this person or no? Are they just like average?
They're just average.
But they're cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's your average score?
Yeah.
How that credit?
I mean, is this like Saturday night after the bars kind of thing, or is this just like today, like right now?
This is just like a random situation that just happened, and you're just like, yeah, sure, I'd be down. Why not? Let's just go at it.
You are not intoxicated.
Yes.
Oh, darn, I'm not drunk, then no.
Then you wouldn't do it?
No, that's my fun.
No, let's just say you do go ahead with it, because like they got some goods, They okay.
Goods, like, okay, they're good looking.
Yeah, like
All
okay,
right.
by goods I mean, let's just say they packing, okay, and if it's a girl, let's just say the body looks fine, but it's just the head is not so great.
Yeah. So I am sleeping with this person.
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah. The reason I'm
Okay.
asking this question is that there are a lot of people that feel like that is somehow taking advantage of them. But the way I look at it is that you are a grown-ass person. I told you exactly what I want out of this. I told you exactly what my intentions are. And you have no right to pin it on me and be like, well, you should have not let me continue. You shouldn't have pursued.
Yeah, I don't think that... I don't think anything's wrong with that, because everyone's like an adult and they make their own decisions.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Like, you can't put your... Oh, you don't like me? How dare you?
Yeah, and it's like, don't act like it's a news to you. I've been telling you I don't like you, and it's your fault that you thought by sleeping with me you somehow changed my mind. It ain't changed. Like, I've been telling you I'm lying to you. And then people want to hit you up with the, well, then why'd you sleep with me if you don't find me attractive? You're trying to tell me there are men out there who have slept with a girl only because they found her attractive? I find that very hard to believe. and they question you just because you're a girl, like a woman. Guaranteed, no one's gonna ask a guy, why'd you sleep with her if you didn't find her attractive? You know, it's like this attitude towards male and female relations that have different connotations depending on your sex. So I always find I find it interesting to ask people like how they feel in that situation. It's a whole like friend zone situation when it's like, oh, how could you not like me? I did this and this and this for you, and it's like, but I told you I don't like you.
I've been bro zoned. This ain't right. Mama, I'm coming home. I'm scared. This is gonna hurt my feelings. We
I
gonna be
love you
hurt.
like a brother.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Ew. Yeah. I'm like your brother.
It's like I like you like a brother, but I like your brother. What?
Ooh,
You know. I would have been mad.
that's scarring for life.
I'm like, ah, damn.
Yeah. No, but I think that that's an important conversation to have, because there might be a lot of people who are in chat or who might watch the VOD later or in just general that might have been in a situation like this where they've made it very clear, or you might be the one on the other end that's misleading and or like mistaking everything they're saying. They're telling you they're not into you. They're telling you they're making it very clear, and you're hoping to like fix them or change them or whatever the case may be. But let me tell you, that's not how it works. Let me catch up on chat really quick.
I could scream out loud after what Habibi said. That was hilarious. Oh man.
Why start things off with a lie? Slice says yes. Psychopath alert. Is that what they put on the profile aspirations? Yeah, like everything I was saying about the profile is like stuff you would find on the profile. That's the only way like you'd find information about them. And then when you meet them in person, it's incorrect. Either way, I better get a good reason why it is, or I'll be out. I understand that. I'm attracted to Tyrion every time I see her. Girl be looking good. Oop. So Slay says, I have a hard time using those apps because I don't want to have a wide range. I want to be sure what I like. But then you could also be like Tyrion and Solo Dolo, where they said they're adaptable. So you kind of just go on a case-by-case basis and you test how you feel, how that person makes you feel. Maybe that's your thing, Slay, and that's okay too. Jess says, lies equal no. People are typically on their best behavior in the beginning, and if they're that's what I agree. And if they're already lying, that's not a good sign. I understand that too. Ninja says, I'm stalking you like that because you stole my wallet. That one time you gave me a hug, I didn't forget. Yeah, Trash Panda killed me too, Jess. Slay says, when you were at the stage in your life where you only filmed your mouth, what do you think your profile pic would have looked like? Would you have altered that? I can't remember what my profile picture was at that time, to be honest. I don't know actually what my profile picture was. Slay's referring to a time in my life where I was not comfortable filming my whole face when I would do covers on Instagram of songs, but I was okay filming like nodes down of my face, so that's what he's referring to. I think my profile picture, oh wait a minute, my profile picture was this. I'm pretty sure it was just the bottom of my face. I'm pretty sure. I was just making sure it was your wallet. I needed to bust money. Hi, Dashni. Hi, Drew. Six licks. I think it depends if you can sense them compromising and lying to themselves. Okay. But also, if they're lying about things like that, it might also mean that they have some kind of complex or some kind of deeper-seated, like, self-esteem issues, which in itself could end up affecting your relationship down the road. So if you do choose to continue seeing them, that might be something to definitely address eventually. I would definitely not recommend continuing to see them after acknowledging that they were lying and then not addressing it, if you're continuing to see them in a serious way. By goods, we mean that chocolate drop. Yeah, exactly. This jam saucy. I like you like a brother, but sweet. Oh no, Habibi. Too much Alabama. Oh, that killed me. That killed me. The next question I'd like to talk to you about is if you think physical intimacy, do you think physical intimacy is an indication of how well a date went? So there are some people who feel like if you don't get a date on a kiss on a first date, it means the date went poorly. So what do you guys think about physical intimacy and that correlation between it, how well a date went? Solo dolo.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're both vibing and enjoying each other, I don't see a reason why you probably wouldn't have a first kiss after the date. And I know there's that awkward moment where you're like, when should it happen? Should it be towards the end, or like who's gonna go in first? You know, I don't think I have done it that much very often. I really had to be like interested into that person. Uh, and hopefully like the first date or any other dates probably within the first three were like really good times. It's like cool. I'm ready to just go in for the kiss, and then we're gonna hopefully continue on. Like, is that good? You smooth? You want to keep going? Take it to the room? You know what's the vibe? So, yeah, it's kind of situational, but I would say most times if you get the first kiss, it's usually okay. It's usually a good sign.
And what about the other way around? If the date goes well, but you don't get a first kiss, does that mean the date went poorly?
I think when we talked about the communicating part, you know, you didn't get any feedback after the date, like, you know, how did you feel? Like after, like maybe not immediately, like 1 hour after you dropped her off or she made it back home, but maybe like the next day, it's like, so how did you feel about the date? Like, was there anything that you liked or didn't like, or I don't know, just some common questions just to ask. Um,
So, like,
yeah, I
on
feel
your
like,
drive home after dropping them off and not getting the kiss, would you be thinking, like, why didn't she kiss me? I guess the date went terrible. I guess it went bad if she didn't kiss
yeah,
me.
I probably think that I like stank or something, or like, you know, I didn't get close. I didn't show like I was being affectionate. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I would definitely be like having a swirling amount of scenarios and questions in my head, and then just by the time the next day I wake up and like hopefully calm down, I'm like, all right, like I'm just gonna ask the questions like, what did you think? Would you like to go on another date? Or, you know, why didn't? Yeah, just see how she's feeling, and if it didn't go well, it didn't go well, and I'm okay, cool. Well, we should keep going then. If you didn't like the first one,
Mm-hmm.
the second one's probably gonna be worse. It's like any movie sequel. It's like, yeah, first one was great, the second one was trash, but maybe the third one will be okay. And
Yes.
it's like,
Oh
no,
no.
homie, it's still the same plot.
You
It's
should have
just we
quit
got
while
a
you
new
were
actor.
ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. What about you, Fun?
Yeah, it really depends how the date went by. I mean, if it was a good date, then I think if it relates in a kiss, why not? But I think that when it's not dependent on a kiss, because me as a guy waiting for the girl to kiss me, I don't know. I think the boy can make the first step in many things. Just first time touching her hand, or first time make the move for a kiss. It's okay, but girls should, yeah, answer to that. Don't do nothing, and
Mm,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
Uh, I one time I was in a cinema with a girl, and we sit next to each other in a pair chair. So there were
Oh, cool.
no yeah, and I tried to take her hand, but I don't want to, yeah, just grab it. I just
Slowly, yeah.
slowly, and I'm waiting for her to move her hand too, so that she signals to me, okay, this
It's
she wanted
okay.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, and if she always sit there, and so it's, yeah, I don't try it again, and yeah, it's, I mean, there's just this uh, um a date, there are two people and not one who is engaging all of the tasks given and taken.
Mm-hmm. Especially if she doesn't communicate. Like, let's just say you were going for her hand and she says, I'm not ready yet. That's a different story, because then you'd be like, I totally understand. That's cool. You know, might try again later. But if she doesn't say anything or she doesn't do anything, then what are you going to think, right?
I had one time I was in a cinema with a girl. She don't sits there, so she had her hands on the and on the first time I go to the cinema with her, I don't took her hand because I wasn't even sure if this if it's a date or it's just friend thing, okay? Because we were don't communicate too much at this point. At the second time we go to the cinema again, and I've done it. I took her hand, and yeah, she was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
And after the date, she said, why haven't you done this at the first date?" And yeah,
And
I
again, that adds
I
on to the previous point that we made of just communicate. If it's a date, say it's a date. If it's a hangout, say it's a hangout, so that you know, like, what, because each I guess title comes with different territory, so it's always good to know. And in
Yeah.
in fun situation, he didn't really know what was okay and what was not.
the communication thing was one thing, and the second thing, yeah, she did nothing to show me that she thinks like me.
Yeah.
That I was very unsure about this, and I thought, okay, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And
By that same token, on the other hand, what's interesting is if Fun was reaching for her hand, then she reached for his hand, so they were holding hands, and then afterwards she, said something like, "Oh, this is just a hangout." Don't give mixed signals, guys, because that's really strange. I don't hold hands with my friends. I
No.
see it as a romantic thing. So if I'm gonna hold your hand, it's a romantic thing. And then I can't hit you up with the, oh, we're just friends, because that's really strange. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of messing with the other person's head. So you might have someone not respond, like what happened with Fun, or you might have someone respond, but that is inconsistent with how they truly feel. Mixed messages are never fun. So let's just not be those people. What about you, Tyrion? Oh, you're muted.
I forget what the question was. Was it first kiss on dates or something?
Do you
Oh yeah,
think-
like
yeah.
I don't know. I think no, I don't think it's important. Like I don't think it makes or breaks a date really, because I don't know, like for me dates are just hanging out. They're not like, oh, this is so special. But that's like how I look at them, because I think if you're able to hang out with somebody and just relax and be yourself, rather than like, oh, I have to be like super perfect, I'm like going on a date, I think you're more like your real self when you're just relaxed. And I think that's like a better way to date somebody versus like build up all this anxiety like, oh, you have to be perfect so we can impress each other,
Yeah, I completely agree.
you know.
Yeah.
And then I was just curious because, like, you know, I guess like for you guys, like gender, like I guess you kind of look at it as like the guy has to do this. Like, is that kind of like a set thing for you guys? Like is there expectations? You know, like
Yeah. I think for me to build on that in relation to the question also is like, I don't think that a kiss is an indication of whether a date went well or how well a date went, because if I was dating someone, as a disclaimer, I don't like kissing people until like I'm very invested in them. That's just a rule that I follow, just because I feel like it's a very intimate thing, and I feel like society has taken away meaning from physical intimacy, and it's almost treated like but why wouldn't you kiss the person? And we forget that when you engage with someone in any physical way, any intimate way, whether it's just a kiss or if it's touching or whatever it is, that is a vulnerable part of you that you're sharing with someone. So it shouldn't be an expectation that you should have when going on a date, that you should get a kiss, because I know there's some guys that I've heard from that expect a kiss at the end of the first date, and I've had it communicated to me like, if it went well, why wouldn't you kiss them? But my thing is, I just don't like kissing people. It's a very intimate thing for me, and I just wait it out. And then the other thing is that I don't feel comfortable with doing it, especially on the first date. So that's something else to keep in mind, that you can have an amazing first date with people, or second or third or fourth, fifth, whatever, a month of dating, and you might never get a kiss, but don't internalize that as a you problem, because it's not something you're doing wrong. They're continuing to see that you, aren't they? It just could be that they just don't want to give that part of themselves to you yet, and that's okay. It's not a judge on your character or anything like that. But I think for me, the personality I have, I like it when the guy makes the first move, but
Yeah.
yeah, like I just like that.
Yeah.
But
Is that like a thing though? Like people expect, like, oh, I'm waiting for this guy to kiss me.
There
kinda
is no
thing.
waiting. I know a lot of people do that, but like for me,
Yeah.
I think that you kind of set up a situation where there's flirting and there's banter and there's that back and forth that makes the situation okay for a kiss to happen. I'm only going off of my experiences where I built up
No, I
time
totally
with the
get it.
person, but then I would just, like they go most of the way just to kind of, I guess, start it off. And then I would go in, but there have been situations where I have set the bar or the boundary where I'm like, I don't want to do it, I'm not ready, and then I would go in for the kill, because I'm the one setting the boundary and they're being respectful. So that would be the situation in which I would make the first move. But I like it if we're like, cool, we've had that discussion, like we're good. Also, communication is so good in that situation too. I've had a situation where my partner at that time asked me, he's like, I know you said you're not ready, but like the next couple of times we meet, or the next time we meet after we had made some progress in our relationship, he's like, how would you feel if like we kissed? And he kind of just asked me that straight up. And I know people feel like that's taking away from the situation or the romance or the moment or whatever. I personally don't think it takes away, because they're just getting consent from you. They're not telling you at this time, at this scene in the movie, we're gonna kiss. They're just saying, cool, I got the green light, now I can do it whenever I want. So yeah.
Well, and I think that like it gets to a point of like consent like that when you're like as you mature, it's just like a maturity thing, and you'll learn it as you go through relationships.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, all these like fairy tale relationship, like romantic stuff. Now I'm just like, do we get along? Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Also, Samurai Speak, Speak. Did I say that right? Yeah, Speak. Thank you so much for that scrumptious sub, and thank you for spending your hard-earned money to support the channel. I really appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, Samurai Speak and Discipline Dashni and I will be having our Black Lives Matter conversation next week. So be sure to check them out as well. And Solo Dolo and Fun, did you want to answer what Tyrion, the question Tyrion mentioned? But do you think that there's like these roles of what men are expected
like
to do?
gender roles or whatever
in relationships, and like who makes the first move and stuff.
That like, do you think it like they shouldn't really exist, right? Like technically, but they do. Do you think that like affects the way people like have like set their expectations in relationships, like when they're going on their first date,
Oh, 100%. I feel like if you're not conscious about it, like I think for me, I'm conscious about it, so I don't have unrealistic expectations. Like I know I'm not comfortable with the kiss, So I think it's unrealistic
Yeah.
if I'm like, well, why didn't he make the move? Does he not like me? I've met people like that, and it's so
Yeah.
frustrating. Like, be consistent, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think that means everything in a
It
relationship.
doesn't.
Like,
It really
you
doesn't.
know,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's cool and all, but
It doesn't. And I think that's also, sorry to build on that, it's also the like sexualization of society, which is the point I was trying to make earlier, that the value behind physical intimacy is taken away to the point where if you don't get a first date and you're relaying it to your friend and they're like, that's weird, why didn't you guys kiss, like, or why didn't you go have sex, or why didn't you do this X, Y, and Z, it's become so normalized as a correlation between how well a date went and and how comfortable you are with the person, when it doesn't always have to do with that, you know.
yeah, and you almost feel like not like you're forced to do it,
But there's a little
kind of, 'cause
pressure.
you're like,
Yes.
oh, if I don't kiss them, maybe they'll just go start talking to other people or whatever.
Yes.
Like,
that's so
I don't know.
true.
So
Yeah, that's true. Did you guys want to add in?
Yeah, sometimes you don't know if you shown the person how much you like her, and you you are thinking that you have to kiss her or have to touch her to show her what that the person means more to you. And that's the problem, that you can't read the minds of someone. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm personally a person very unsure. I'm thinking about such things too much and mostly negative. So uh, in the end, they're the weirdest thoughts, and you don't know what to do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just try it out. If it should fit, it will.
What about you, Solo, though?
Yeah, the norms suck. I mean, even when I was dating the one girl that I was with, like, I don't even remember when we first kissed. I don't even know if we did. It's just been so long. But like, yeah, I was trying to make sure that like, we were both comfortable with each other, and that we were like, okay, like this feels like a right time to do it. And I would make sure that I was like affectionate, like I was trying to
Yes.
close to her, I would hug her, maybe hold her hand. My hands are sweaty, so I don't usually like holding people's hands. I'm just like, yo, you want this nice sweat on your palms too? Touch your forehead.
It's good that you're conscious about it. There's some people who sweat
Yeah, so
and they're not.
that's just me. Like, I don't really like going for hand holding. Like, I rather hug you and have you close by and we just walk together.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of more my thing, just because of my sweaty hands. But yeah, I'd like to show that I'm interested, I'm invested, I wish to be around you, and I can be myself. I'm not gonna act any different than I was on the phone, over text message, over video, anything like that, than how I am in person. Like, if I embarrass you one on one, I'm embarrass you in front of everybody too. Like, trust me, you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't wish that guys have to make the first move, or like we have to internalize and think about why the girl didn't kiss me, or the guy didn't move in, all these other just questions of like what ifs, what do's, what not to do. It's just silly. So I'm just like, if you're comfortable with it, if you're going for the ride and she's feeling it too, or he's feeling it too, like, go for it, and make sure that you're okay with it. So I
Yeah.
mean, like the guy asking you about, we've been on 4 dates now. Probably in these next 2 dates, I'm gonna kiss you on the lips, and like, okay.
Yeah. Or no, and it shouldn't be a personal offense. Like, try to remember that you are asking to invade someone's personal space and get all up in their personal space, and it might not be about you. So I know some people take it take offense to it, that, oh wow, she doesn't like me. No, like, she's clearly spending time with you, or he's constantly going out with you. Maybe he just don't want to kiss you yet because he has his own boundaries, and that's okay. I just think
Right.
it's interesting how normalized kissing has become, or physical contact, that it's seen as strange when you don't have that, which is something to keep in mind.
Yeah. I forgot what I was about to say though.
I'm so
I
sorry.
lost
Oh my
my train
god.
of thought.
I'm so sorry.
Nah, you're fine. What was it? Man,
You were
it's
talking
gone.
about the guy saying it's been like 6 dates and I might kiss you on the second one.
Yeah,
And you were saying like talking about it.
yeah, yeah. I lost it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh my god.
You're good.
Before we talk about our second last question, I'm just gonna quickly catch up on chat. I think it depends a lot on the person. Some people use first date to just get to know the person, so I don't feel like it has to indicate a bad date. I agree, Ninja. Yeah. And Samurai Speak says, I haven't had a first date in a while. Hello, everyone. I hope you got my hello, Samurai. And my little shout out. Habibi says, my day is technically over since it's 2 a.m. I'm just listening to these beautiful people talking about that scary thing called dating. It doesn't have to be scary. And Samurai Speak, once again, thank you very much for that scrumptious sub. I very much appreciate that. And as a way of saying thank you and promoting physical fitness and activity on my channel, I will be doing 5 exercise reps for that sub. What's a typical good first date, or at least someone's perspective of it? That's so funny that you asked that question, because it was one of my questions, but then I chose not to answer it because I'm like, that's too easy. Because like a good first date is really just hitting it off with a person, having like interest, having a good sense of humor, like hitting it off, maybe a little bit of banter, right? Like that's sort of everything that a first date would be.
Yeah, I feel like you're just trying to be comfortable around that person.
Yeah, and it sounds
That's
so easy, but you'd be surprised how hard it is to have a good first date. It's no problem at all. Gender norms during the date. Yeah, it was a really good question, Tyrion. Thank you for that. Hi, Scarlett! And Scarlett is also going to be participating in an upcoming Ravens Real Talk that is part 2 about periods, to create awareness about it and share experiences and just get educated about it. Slay says, I have a weird relationship with going outside. I cannot go outside for a long time and just do it, and it doesn't feel weird. That's good. We should never get like too comfortable with staying indoors. I feel like that's just not healthy. 5 squats to 10 burpees. Oh my god. Kill me now. All right, Slay. The second to last question that I have for you guys is, do you think that having sex on the first date says something about someone's character? And should you be prepared to have sex on the first date?
I'll be right
Yes.
back.
Not the character part, no, but maybe not always ready. Like, what do you mean ready? Like physically ready or mentally ready? 'Cause
whatever type of ready you need to be to have sex on the first date.
I mean, girl, I'm always ready.
Get it? Get it?
No, but I feel like that's like part of dating, right? Like you're always like ready. But
You don't think it says something about the person's character if they sleep with you on the first date?
no, not really, because I think I don't know. I think everything can be so different. Like there's no yes or no to anything. It's more if you do, I don't think it changes like anything. It's just like, oh yeah, like we had sex
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, I'll see you tomorrow or
Yeah.
whenever.
Or never. Or never.
Or never, yeah. Like you were fucking horrible. So
Yeah.
like, whatever. Stuff like that. I don't know.
That's me. Oh,
I don't think it changes anything because I think we all just make decisions and that's it. I don't think it affects like who we are as
Yeah.
people It's just like, today I'm gonna have chocolate ice cream. Tomorrow I'm gonna have vanilla.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. I like that.
But that's like my opinion on it. Like, this isn't like, I hope everyone like goes out there and like has sex on the first date.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. What
Like,
you're
that's
saying. Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
me,
Your
like how
personal
I would
thing.
do it.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's get laid.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't
Perfect.
like the double standards of this, and that's why I specifically asked, do you think having sex on the first date says something about the person's character? Because we all know the double standard. If a girl sleeps with a guy, she's seen as a SLUT and all these negative words, but if a guy, it's just like, yeah, get it in. But like, what I always found interesting about that is like, sex takes two people, right? Where like proper like that type of sex that we're talking about.
For the most part.
Yeah, I had to like specify that type of
I'm about
sex
to-
takes two people. So you slept with them too? So why you judging them when like you slept with
Yeah.
them too? So what does that say about you if that's how you feel about them? So I always just found that weird because the double standards just don't make any sense to me. I personally don't think that I wouldn't think any less of them if they pursued me in that way, and I wouldn't look at them like, oh wow, that's they probably do this with everybody. I don't think I would, at least. And should you be prepared to have sex on a first date? I think the way when I was writing this question, the intention I had in mind behind it is there are those people who, again, like with the first kiss, they go into a date hoping that it's gonna end up in sex when they haven't made that clear that that's their intention. So maybe I should have specified that. It's more about the person on the other end who is not being honest about what they're looking for from the date, and they're going into the date hoping that that's going to happen and having that expectation. And I think that's completely wrong, in my opinion. If that's something that you're looking for, you should communicate it. This stream is like wholly like heavily based on transparency and communication and consistency, and just letting people know what you actually want, because I don't think anyone should. And then the other thing is the pressure. Like sometimes if someone is asking you, or you just want to kiss them, but they automatically think that a kiss is automatically means you want to sleep with them, I think that's incorrect as well. And I think that is something else to attribute to society and the way they show, I guess, foreplay, or I guess, or things that lead up to sex.
Yeah.
It's always like kisses always lead to sex, and that's not always the case. And just because you have broken past the boundary of someone allowing you to kiss them doesn't mean you've also broken past the boundary of sex. Sometimes people's boundaries are different. Sometimes kissing equals sex. Communication. Good to talk about it. Like, explain yourselves, and don't feel pressured to sleep with someone on the first date. If someone makes you feel shitty for not sleeping with them anytime, actually, not even just first date, anytime, and they think that makes you look like you love them less or you like them less, it says more about them than you. So please never allow yourself to feel shitty for standing your ground about something that's important to you. You know,
and don't feel shitty for sleeping with them on the first date either.
and don't feel
You
shitty
know,
for
like,
sleeping with
that's-
them on the first date.
if that's what they want
if
and you
that-
want, you know,
And if they make you feel shitty about it, remember that.
they stupid.
Yeah, remember that for next time, so that you don't make that mistake with that same person again. But you both literally agreed to go forth with the act, and that's your decision, and you stand by that, and you do you know, for real. Fun, what about you?
Yeah, I cannot add more. 100% what you're saying. But so some people, for some people, sex is a really private thing.
Right.
So I can understand when people say sex on the first date is a no-go, because I want sex with a person at this point when I really into him, when I'm sure this could be more. This could be a long time relationship or something. But there's the other people who said, okay, I want to have fun. This date is about to be having sex with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone, at the end of the day, everyone had to decide for their own what they want, and talked about it. The communication. We are all old enough to make our own decisions, and but do I have really prepared? On the first date, I think not. If you're looking for a relationship, I think yes when you're looking for one.
Right. And have have you ever encountered any of your friends shaming someone for sleeping with them on the first date? Oh, that's shocking. That's awesome. That's really good. Either you have good friends or people are changing. I don't know. Solo Dolo, what about you?
I feel like it's just completely up to you and that other person. So if you were like, hey, we said we were gonna, get down with it, so we're gonna get down with it. Wrap up, be protected. What you gonna do? If you feel like that's not gonna happen, and they want to wait, or that's it's not on the same spectrum. Like, hey, like I want to have sex, but you don't. Like, do you respect it, or do you?
Yeah.
Respect it and be like, like, all right, you didn't want to smash. Like, that's all right. Then I'm gonna go talk to somebody else. Or you'd be like, no, that's okay. Like, I'm fine with holding back and waiting till you're comfortable with actually wanting to have, sexual intercourse. And for myself, like, I'm a virgin, so like I have not really tried or wanted to. Like, I've had my chances and I have turned them down. I'm just like, like I could have it, sure. Do I want it? Not really. I'm really just like, personally, I'd rather wait. And even with my belief of Christianity, like it's just something that you just wait for marriage for. But just me personally, I'm just like, I don't mind waiting for that one girl. Now, if I had my close times and experiences, but
If you had wait, if you had what?
I said I had my close times. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
there, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna just stop. Just like
Damn.
put myself down. Like, no, I shouldn't do this. Like, I didn't do it with anybody else. Why are you the exception, right?
So it was a
Somewhere.
religious belief that became a personal belief, like a
Yeah.
choice. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like that. Yeah.
So,
That's good.
and I'm not gonna, degrade anybody, or, I'm not gonna have other people put me down. Like, oh, why didn't you
Yeah,
smash?
it's so silly. Oh my god.
Like, I don't care. Like, why do you care if I smash? Like, I just want you to get it, man. Like, dude, I can get it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I want it. I can go get it. Don't. I'm just gonna chill out and have fun.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's why I think it's so interesting how sexualized everything has become, that it's so ingrained in our interactions with people that if it doesn't lead to sex, there's like something wrong there. It's not good enough, which is so important to talk about, because it lets us reevaluate our interactions with people. And it makes it hopefully helps us focus on, if we are pursuing relationship, we should be focused on communication. We should kind of like go back to those grassroots type activities, like Fun mentioned, of just sitting by the water and talking, like really getting to know the person. Or like Tyrion mentioned, the painting. Yes, it wasn't with someone that you were particularly fond of in that way, but if that's something that you if it's with someone that you are attracted to and you want to pursue a relationship with, sometimes doing activities together can really bring you closer together, rather than just like going and watching a movie, or just going and watching a show or a comedy show. Like really connecting with them and doing activities together, I feel like is also important, in addition to like sex and intimacy. And if you do choose to have sex with someone on the first date, that's your freaking choice. And it bothers me when people judge each other for the choices that they make. It doesn't mean you're a shitty person just because you choose to have sex with someone or you choose not to. And the last thing I want to end off with is, I've heard a lot of people say that on first dates they usually try to stay away from serious topics, so like life goals, what they want for their as a family, if they want a family, if they want kids, their religion, their views on politics, things like that. What do you guys think? How about you, Fun?
First date. It's,
And let's just say you're not like pushing for the topic; it just organically comes out.
yeah, I mean, for me, I can say, when I date someone, I I wrote with her a lot, and at this time, there were many questions, and maybe before the date, this questions came up, and
Mm.
we answered. I mean, for me, I'm a cook, or I'm a chef. I don't know pronounce it in the USA, and
That's cool.
I don't have time on weekends, so my only days off are Monday and Tuesday. And because I haven't so much time, there is a lot of writing with the persons for me, and in this case, I have to try to know them by writing with them, yeah, and or to telephone with them, something like that. And if I say to me, okay, this person is it's worth. I like them. We have similar hobbies or minds about something. Then I take my time, my less time that I have to go on a date with her. And when I'm at this point, the most questions are already answered.
Mm.
I can't really answer these questions about the first date. Which questions? I don't know, because mostly I know the answers when I go to the date.
That's interesting. I like that. So you don't shy away from speaking about those serious topics right in the beginning when you guys start talking.
Yeah, I mean, not really in the first 2 or 3 weeks, or but if you known each other every day a little bit better, questions are there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes she asks first, then some quotes I ask first, and yeah, it goes on and on.
Mm. How about you, Tyrion?
I don't know. I don't really think there's like a don't ask unless it. I don't know. I feel like those are just like topics that come up anyway. I think it's more important to be able to have your own answer for those topics than to not talk about them. I think, like someone having their own independent opinions on those topics, whether they're right, like whether I agree or not, I think it's more important in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's any reason to not talk about stuff like that. I think it just comes up anyway. Like, hey, what are your goals? Like, what are you like? Oh, you just graduated. Like, what do you want to do? It's very
Yeah.
like, and like, no one has to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna be a rocket scientist. Like,
It's just a discussion.
just answer like honestly. And I think that's like the most important part when it comes to those questions.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Solo Dolo?
I was laughing at chat. Yeah, I feel like everything should just be kind of open ended. There's no reason that you shouldn't have these discussions. And I do kind of agree with Fun. Like after some time with talking with them over the phone, through text messaging, through video calls or phone calls, like those questions have already probably came up once or twice before. So like actually having the first date, if those questions didn't come up already, they're just gonna come over time.
Yeah.
There's no need to really rush it. There's no need to be like, oh, I need to know this right now so I can determine if I'm gonna stay with you or want to continue the relationship. Like you can internalize that later. So, but at least in the beginning when you're with each other, it's like, okay, just take it all in, like, respect their decisions or their answers, and then if there's something that you were not so fond of, like talk about it later. But yeah, I'm not afraid to answer anything. And like I said, like when I ask questions, I answer my own questions. So if I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, like, what's one of your most favorite dish that like reminds you of your grandfather? Like, yeah, one for me is like my granddad used to love cooking oxtails, and that was just like our thing. Like every time I'm over there, it's always like oxtails just being that's beef oxtail. So like that's just something that I would ask randomly, and then I'll just think of other shit to say. But of course, I want her or him, however you wish to swing, is uh, you want them to ask you questions too. So yeah, just be open ended, be open minded. Don't be afraid to ask anything. If there's something they're not comfortable with, they should tell
They
you.
should
And
tell you,
then
yeah.
if there's something you're not comfortable with, you should tell them. It's like, don't try to figure out their social security number or, it's like, hey, like, have you been abused? Like, oh, calm
I
down.
think that's heavy for a first date.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to know.
Oh my
So like
god.
They're like,
definitely use your discretion. Because like for me, if I ever were to go on a first date, it would only be after I've been texting that person for a while, like at least a couple of weeks or something, or maybe a week or so, or like I don't know, depending on how frequently I'm talking to them. And if I chose to go on a date with them, I would want to um I guess like yes, I have my goofy side and all of that, but I think at my core, I'm a serious person and I spend a lot of time in my head and reflecting on myself and reflecting on life, and I just don't have time to mess around. So for me, I would like my non-negotiable items to be on the table, because if I'm going on a date with someone, my intention is to I'm trying to look for forever, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
yeah.
So I would like right from the get-go, I wouldn't be like, so I want this, like it would be in a natural way, but I would make sure that I make it known that I don't want to have children. This is my religion. This is what well the religion thing should already have been sorted out like in the beginning. Like if religion's
Yeah.
important to you, right? Why are you pursuing a relationship with someone who you know is not the same religion as you? That's just my personal opinion about that, but I would make it known that like I don't want kids. This is the type of life that I would like plan to live. I don't do this whole living with the parents bullshit. Like I'm living in their basement. It's different if they're old and feeble and you're taking care of them. Different story. But I know culturally for some people, when you get married, you move into the basement of the parents, and like I'm nope.
What the heck?
Taking your last name, nope. I'm keeping my own last name. So like things like that, it's just it. And if you can't handle those conversations, it ain't gonna work out. Like if you're too like squeamish about that, that's an indication that we're not a good fit. If you can't even talk about these like real life. If you can't have these real life discussions, because this is just a tip, baby. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, and if you can't handle this and it's too hot for you, then you need to leave. I need to leave. So that's my take on people like avoiding talking about those serious, deep things on the first date. Why wouldn't you want to know right from the beginning? Like, why would you want to continue wasting your time? Like, I don't know why you'd want to do that. But do you think?
Oh, I have a question.
Oh yeah, go
If
for it.
I was gonna say, okay, so for people, let's say you want to date, but you don't know how to get started on dating, right? Like, or how to find somebody.
Okay.
What are ways that you guys like recommend?
Sports, sports leagues. You meet some great people, guys. Let me tell you, and most of them have some kind of career going, and then this is something that they do on the side. So the reason I mention that as an important thing is that it shows you that they're well-rounded. Like they have their time for work and they go to work, and then the evening they keep that time for themselves of being active and
Mhm.
you can also tell a lot about a person by the way that they play a sport. Because if they are getting toxic on the field, if they have a temper problem, if they're encouraging you, if they're positive, if they're kind, if they check up on their team members, it tells you something about them. So I would definitely say if you're not into dating apps and things like that, joining sports leagues is such a great way to go, or joining clubs, doing meetup groups. I don't know if you guys have it in the States, but in Toronto we have something called meetup.com. And
Mm-hmm.
there's various clubs or like groups of people that are like kind of specialize in a specific topic or a specific activity. And like if you're hiking, if you're into hiking, there's a hiking club, and you can just go on hikes with these people and like meet new people. So that's how where I would suggest.
Yeah. Have you used like Tinder, stuff like that? Like,
I think
you
I used it for a
personally?
day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, bro, this ain't for me, man. And
Yeah.
I'll be real with you, because I realized that I was not looking for a relationship. So I was like, you know what? My heart is too like bruised and beaten and bleeding. Like I
Yeah.
don't have time for this. So I just like went alone for a bit.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I'm like not dating at all. It's funny that I'm on a first date talk, but I'm just no, I just like have school and that's my priority.
Yeah.
So I told myself like I'm not going to get into a relationship because the last time I did, I was in school and then we broke up and then I was like really upset. And then it distracted me from like what I wanted to do as a
Yeah.
person. So now I'm like, no,
Fuck
that's
you.
me.
You're setting those clear like
yeah, like, and I don't play
parameters.
League anymore because like that's the same thing. Like playing League
Distraction.
is like, oh yeah,
It really
like a
is.
relationship.
It
Like, oh, you get sucked
really
in,
is.
and then you get like emotionally attached to League.
1000% agree. And
Yeah.
Samurai Speak also mentioned how many kids do you want? Not a first date question, but it is. Oh, but it is. I would ask. I'm 28. 100%. I would ask too, Samurai. Depends how set you were on the answer. That exactly, and that's why I said if it's a deal breaker, I think you should ask. Amount is negotiable. A no is a deal breaker, as it should be either way. Tiny humans are no joke, right, Jess? I mean, the child thing is on some dating profiles, so you kind of know before the date. True. Joins all the bowling leagues. You should come to Toronto. We have so many leagues here. Meetup is sparse in my part of England. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, what about you, Drew and Fun? You guys want to give some suggestions where you can meet people? That's such a good question, Tyrion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
You will. Well, I
for
was
me,
just
it's-
curious.
For me, it's a little bit different because I stand up in the morning, go to work at 9 a.m. I come back at evening and 10 p.m. So I don't have really time to go out. Also on the weekends, I don't have time for clubs or go to the disco or something. So for me, it's uh, apps like Tinder is the way to go. I mean, my girlfriend, I met her on Tinder, and I mean it worked out.
Yeah.
So it can work out, but I have rules for me with such apps. I mean, I wrote in my profile things about me that they are important to me. There are no lies in my profile informations, and I mean the chance that I match with someone is lower. But if I match with someone, they know what they're about to get in,
Yes.
and that's the base who we talking is a little bit higher, so they know what they can expect from me, and so on and so on. And yeah, it worked for me, and yeah, but the problem is 90% of girls on Tinder or something in their bio, first thing is their Snapchat link, second thing is their Instagram. As it's hard.
Ooh, they just want the follows.
It's
Right?
hard.
Oh, you know what I hate on the profiles? You know what I hate? I'm gonna tell it to you, and y'all gonna hate it too. Just ask. I hate
No.
that. I
Simply no.
empty profile. Just ask. Just ask. It bothers, and guys do it too. It's not just girls. It's so
I have you.
annoying. Oh
Yeah.
my god. You put
Yeah, I don't
no
have
profile.
any like dating app stuff.
Yeah, you put no effort, and then when they message you like, "Hey, sweetie, how's it going?" And to me, that's a very lazy interaction, because I gave you so many things to work with in my profile. I gave you TV shows, I gave you games, I gave you interests, I gave you like what I want to do in my life. And you used none of that. You're gonna hit me up with a generic, "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" That's boring as hell. Or they hit you up with the other one where it's literally a copy and pasted message, but they think that we are so dumb that we're gonna look at a long block of text and be like, oh my god, he put so much effort into writing to me. Oh my god, he's a keeper for sure. No, boo, we see you copy and pasting, especially when what you're saying in there is contradictory to what is on my profile.
Leave my copy pasta alone. I was just trying to be nice.
Oh my god. What about you, Drew? Where you suggest people meet?
I feel like we already said the things. I mean, I definitely say meetups are definitely a good thing to go to. If your friends have other friend groups, they can introduce. Like that's kind of how my thing kind of went along up here where I stay, because I was just like, fuck everybody up here. I don't want to be here. I'm only here for work. So like, I'm not even trying to go out and meet people. But like I knew people up this way, and then they were like, come on over. But I'm like, yo, it's Final Fantasy 14 time. You ain't stopping me. What the fuck you want? So, no, but like, you know, those are nice. They kind of blend you into their friend groups, and then they become your friend.
Yeah.
Like, I do enjoy those. Meetups are great. You know, finding stuff that you all have in common, a hobby,
Yes.
something that's just like, hey, like we all enjoy doing this. Like you all like opera, let's go to a fucking opera. Let's go. Play, let's do it.
Yeah.
You like documentaries? Let's go.
Do it. Yeah.
I'm doing it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I'm not really against the dating apps. I feel like they're just not for me, but like, you know, every other day I'm getting like, hey, you want to join Bumble with this registration code? I'm like,
and it's good to know what works for you and what doesn't, right?
Right. And I'm just like, I see Tinder, like everyone just takes it as a game. So I'm just like, what's the point? I'm not about to do this. And I'm like, sure, they could be hookups. They could be real things. Just like how fun is. Like, you definitely found somebody. Congrats. Like, that's awesome. But for other people, it's like, nah, that ain't for me. I ain't the one. I mean, there's Facebook dating. There's other kinds of dating. So, I mean, like, you just kind of find what fits best for you. And, I mean, even doing Twitch or, well, there's no more Mixer.
That's a good one, yeah.
What, Facebook gaming, YouTube, like all that stuff, like build that little community, and then you may try to have a meetup and be like, hey, if you guys live in the area, like I'm gonna be here, let's all meet up and let's do it. Like I've been trying to do that for a little while, but you know, Corona came out and decided to ruin everybody's lives.
I know, right?
True.
And I don't want to be near.
Do all of you guys game?
Yep, I do
Like,
a lot of.
I'm just curious.
Oh. Yeah, mainly gaming. I work, so I'm not.
So like dating, do you want to date somebody that games?
Yes.
Or do you want to date somebody that's like okay with you gaming, but they don't game themselves?
Yes.
Let me put it down for you.
Tell me,
yeah,
baby. Tell me.
I definitely want someone that likes the same stuff that I do. But I also want you to have your own personality. I want you to have your own hobby.
That's actually a great point.
So, you know, if she's into swimming and like go kayaking and everything, I'm like, yo, me and water don't mix. Like, I ain't about to fuck with it. Like, I'll use it to clean, cook, and bathe, but that's it. Like, I don't want to be out in the water. So I'm like, that's your thing. You have your friends to do that. That is totally fine. And then if there's something that I like to do, which is cosplaying, like, hey, that's not her thing. I do that with my friends. I go have fun. And then we just have something that we both enjoy doing. If it's gaming, if it's art, if it's writing music, if it's going out, biking or something, or I don't know, doing some sport or something, just like something that we can have to do together, and then things that we can do separately. That's it. I want you to still be your individual person. There's no reason that you should give up your individuality just because we're together. Like, sure, we should have a lot of things that we want to do together, whether it's just sitting around snugged up in some, you know, blankets and we're watching movies, to, hey, you want to go deal with your garden. Like, I don't feel like getting dirty. Go handle that. Like, that's all you. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't judge for persons.
Yeah.
Just if your partner have an hobby that you don't like, okay, it's okay. I mean, as long as he is happy with it, just fine. Okay, I can accept it. But it's a no-go to say no, I don't like it. So you you have to stop it. You never do it again.
Oh my goodness.
That's a no-go for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of like solo dolo where I want a partner. Well, in my case, I do want a partner that games. I think it would be really weird if they weren't a gamer because I'd be in like a league team fight and they'd be trying to have a serious conversation with me and I'm like, bro, I'm seriously in a team fight right now. Like, you can't do this to me. And they won't understand it because they are not a gamer or they don't play League.
You can pause the game if you don't shut
Oh my god! I'm gonna throw my monitor at your face. Like
get
don't
out the
hit me
room.
up,
You sit on the
right?
couch tonight, like,
Right. So I would definitely want them to be
Door's
a
open, you
gamer.
can leave.
the door's right there.
You're like, why did I marry you? But I would also want them to have their own personal interests. I think it's so attractive when when my partner is passionate about something. I think that's a very attractive trait. Like if they're passionate about a sport or if they're passionate about an activity or an art or a craft or fixing a car or whatever it is, like do your own thing and have your own interests as well. But yes, have something that we both are interested in as well that brings us together. Or be open-minded to have similar interests and allow them to happen. Yeah.
I think that's the way to this.
Yeah.
I don't think I could date somebody that games, but that's just like
interesting
for
How
me.
come?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Because like I do game and I'm like really competitive when I game, so I just don't think it would like.
What if they're
I don't
competitive?
know.
What if they're easygoing? What if they're easygoing so they won't get fired up? Like if you get
Yeah,
fired
like
up?
because I don't want to compete against like whoever I'm dating. Like, oh, you're so bad at League or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I saw you drop that KDA yesterday. What?
Yeah, like I'm super.
Yo, if my partner ever did that to me, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit if he's just like, oh wow, you're like actually mean and say like, oh you're gold, bro. Yeah, like I'm plat. Like your game style is a little like, ooh, I'd get fired.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think I'd like to date a gamer because I'm a gamer. So I'd want somebody who will like get me out of the house or something because like that's their thing. Like they kind of like that. Like, hey, let's go do this kind of thing, and I'll be like, sure, why not? Because if we're both gamers, then we're both just gonna sit around and do nothing, kind of thing. That's my like take on it.
Because you naturally don't have interests that involve the outdoors.
No, I mean I do, but I don't know how to explain.
I'd rather leave than go outside. What is
I'm
air?
introverted though, so like people are exhausting.
You about to be with for a long time. They gonna exhaust you most.
They're
I get
exhaust you for sure. Yeah, no, I get that. That's so interesting though. I think you're the first person I would say that I've met who games but wouldn't want someone who games. But I understand it. Especially if you guys game at different times. Because if you think about it, if you have a 3-hour League session or Valorant session, right? And then they have a 3-hour
and then
Valorant,
they do,
you ain't spending any time together unless you're playing that game together. So
and I feel like gaming is like, I wouldn't even want, like, this sounds weird maybe, but I wouldn't even want the person I'm dating to like know that I game as much as I do or like whatever. Not because I'm ashamed of it. It's more like I feel like when I'm gaming, I'm like a different person. Like, do you guys ever feel that way? Like, you have this like.
That's fair. Okay.
When you're playing games, you're like very locked in or like in the zone or something.
It depends on the game. I feel like everyone. This is their game. This is what they put all their time into. They put like research, dedication, have a team, a guild, whatever. Like they're invested into this game. Like that, I can understand. And if they want to not be competitive, that's fine. Like play a casual game, go play a single player or something. But everyone has their own taste. Like for me, like I'm heavily into Final Fantasy 14 online, MMORPG. And I'm like, I care about rating. I care about looking good with your character, appearance, whatnot, clothing, like getting mounts and little figurines and shit like that. But then also like I do play a casual. Like I play with my friends, I help them level, we go through things. I might just be like, I'm gonna just craft, and then it'll be 8 hours of just crafting jewelry. Like, so what's going on? I'm like, I'm just putting the hammer down. That's all I gotta do today.
Wow.
So, but then there's Valorant or FPS games. Like the genre of game depends on like how I approach things.
Yeah.
For Valorant, I am kind of casual, but like all FPS, I'm kind of casual. Like there are some games I'm like, yo, ranked or competitive sounds like hella fun. So then I would be like, I'm in it, and then I'm talking and I'm like calls and all this other shit. And then there's other ones I'm just like, meh,
But I
this is a
haven't
battle
experienced you
royale.
toxic though.
See, I don't really get affected by the toxicity. Like, go cry, swear, do all your shits. I'm just like, I got the kill. I'm gonna move on. And if I died, I died. Oh, you
Yeah.
outplayed me, or I just, dumb and I look over.
Yeah.
You cramping in the corner or something. I'm like, oh look, an explosive. I just set myself on fire. Yippee!
Yeah.
So,
I like that. I've actually been
Do
in
you
a
guys-
relationship with someone who would call me and vent for like 45 minutes about how butthurt he was losing a StarCraft game or a Smite game. And at the time, I was so freaking nice. That's the only way I can put it. Or I don't know where my head was because I didn't shut that shit down. But let me tell you, if that were to happen today, oh my god, I'd be like, can you get
Boy,
over
get out.
yourself? Like, it's actually not that serious. That is so
Mhm.
frustrating. Oh my god.
Yeah, like I just say like the video game thing because I've been in a relationship with somebody and like like you ever had a relationship where someone's not okay with you gaming? Like have you ever had that yet? Where someone's like not like not okay with it, but they feel like you spend more time
time with
doing
it.
that, but it's not really that. I think they just don't like the perception of you playing video games.
You are spending an
Whoa.
unhealthy amount on these games, Gerald.
No,
Like,
I haven't.
Yeah, like instead of like
experienced
going
that.
out and drinking like with their friends or whatever, like I'd rather sit at home and play video games, right?
Me
Like
bring the
too.
drink over here. You got the beer, you got the whiskey. Let's go.
yeah, like and like some
Absolutely.
like I've had it where people are like they don't like that you don't want to go out and you'd rather stay home and play video games. Like
I'd rather be drunk in my own home than drunk out there. What did I do?
So I guess
don't
that
know.
would just be a conflict on the way you enjoy spending your time. Like they enjoy going
Yeah.
out, you prefer staying in. And I know those types of relationships are really hard to keep up with because if I had someone who always wanted to go out, it wouldn't work out because I'm not a lazy person, but I prefer to stay indoors. But I have my times like every other weekend where I'm like, let's do something, let's go out, like let's do something.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go
no,
horseback
exactly.
riding, or like let's go to the beach, or let's go do some whatever. But every time I'm exhausted, man. You work all week, and then the weekend it goes by so fast. I don't want to go out all the time, so I get it. Yeah. But do you guys want to give any closing remarks before we end off the stream?
Don't date. No, I'm just kidding. No.
You go first. I'll just
You're just gonna chill. You could just play a song for it. I don't know. I feel like you guys should never be afraid to. You should date when you feel ready to date. Don't just be like, I want to go from this person to this person to this person to this person. Like, I mean, some people do that. Have fun. Like, there's nothing wrong with being single, and there's nothing wrong with being in a relationship, and that could be with one person, multiple people. Do what you want to do. That ain't my place to judge you. But just, invest in the person, take time with them, spend time with them, be committed. Don't start talking to other people. And if they get weary of that, like, set them right. Be like, yo, like, somebody that I knew for a long time, like, best friend, like, chill, not sexting.
What is that?
She just asked me a question. Apparently it's 3 a.m. I don't know why she's awake. But yeah, just keep in mind that everyone has something that they're looking for. Just be open-minded to things and don't shoot people down. There's nothing wrong with going on multiple dates. There's nothing wrong with just ending it on the first date or the third date. Just play the field, do your best, and when you find the one, you found the one. Hopefully. Not, hey, just keep going out there. Don't quit, because it's rough. There's a lot of people out there, but a lot of people don't want to. Kind of like panda mating. Like, there's not very many, and they don't like having. Just like, fuck this other guy. So yeah, just enjoy dating when you're ready. Use apps, meet people through other friends, go out, or you can meet them through what you enjoy doing, gaming, watching people's streams, making content, whatever. Just find somebody, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And important, don't change yourself
Yeah.
for
Right.
person.
Yeah.
Be you. Don't
Be
be
always yourself.
Yeah.
don't be somebody else.
And don't talk about
And don't talk about your ex. Yeah. I think for the don't change yourself, it's also important to mention that if it's like a legit issue though that you have, like you are an angry person, you need anger management classes or something, then yeah, you should change. I 1000% think that you should change. But if I'm not mistaken, I think fun means more like if you love football and your partner's just like, I don't like you watching football anymore, and then you're like, okay, I'm not watching football anymore. I think that's what you mean by like, don't do that, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Because if you do have like legit issues, we all have issues that we're working through. We all have demons that we're facing and fighting. That's important to acknowledge and change and get better. But if it's just like your interests and things that are not harming anybody, but they just don't like you doing it, that's something that you should probably address in the relationship. Yeah. And just be honest, like what Drew said, that if you're ready to date or you're dating multiple people or whatever it is, just you should be transparent about it, because you don't want to be misleading people. And if you're going on a date, make sure you let them know it's a date. And if it's a hangout, let them know it's a hangout. It's very important to make that distinction and let your intentions be known, that I'm just looking for fun, I'm serious, looking for a relationship, I'm not ready yet, whatever it is. I think that's important to note. What about you, Tyrion?
I guess just make sure that you, like, this is super cliche, but like that you're happy with where you are as a person, because relationships tend to take a lot of like focus off of yourself,
Ooh,
because you're gonna
that's
be
a good
focusing
one.
about somebody else. That's like the biggest thing for me. That's why I personally don't date as much as I'd like, because I'd rather focus on myself.
Ain't
So
that the
that
truth?
like, it's super cliche, but so when I do date somebody, with or without them, I could be independent and like I don't need the other person to make myself happy, like the stuff like that. Like, it's super cliche, but super true.
No, that is so true. That is
But
such a
yeah,
good
like
one.
it's super true. Like, you don't want to lose yourself, like who you are, because of a relationship that you want. So I think that's like the most important thing, is just like being yourself. No,
Yeah.
super like but it's true. I think, you know, someone's gonna like you for who you are. You never have to change who you are to be in a relationship.
Agreed.
Um, and that's my advice.
Yeah, I really
And I
like
don't think
that.
it's wrong to date multiple people either. As long
Yeah.
as you're open. You know, people are always like, "Oh, I gotta date one person only."
No,
But you can
you
go on
don't.
dates with multiple people.
Yeah.
You know, actually being in a relationship is a different concept than dating.
Yeah. And it's good to like make that clear, because your idea of dating might be different from someone else's idea of dating, and they might be looking at the date that they're having with you as like the real deal commitment type situation.
Yeah,
So
I've had that. It's like
just
awkward.
talk about it, guys. Everyone's
Yeah.
definition of dating is different or could be different. So just talk about it. Communicate, guys. And I really like the bit where you said about like, I want to kind of be whole as a person and work on myself, because being in a relationship does take away from you and working on yourself and pursuing your goals and dreams and things like that. And what I want to add to that is, you know, a lot of us who are not in a relationship, it's possible for us to feel lonely. It's possible for us
Yeah,
to
like the loneliness will
want-
drag you into like wanting a relationship. Like
Yes.
I've definitely gone through that more than,
Yeah.
you know, all the time. But
And
you
there's
know,
no
like,
shame in that. There's
no,
no shame
there isn't. No.
whatsoever. And if anyone makes you feel any which way, because I've seen a lot of Instagram posts, I made a video about this on my YouTube too, where there's a lot of Instagram posts that are like, I don't be happy being single. You don't need anybody. You an independent woman. This and this. Sure, that's great and that's amazing. I support independence. I support like being self-sufficient. But we also need to realize that we are social beings. We're not meant to be alone. So when we are alone, it's like almost unnatural, and we have to learn to combat that feeling of loneliness by focusing on ourselves and self-development, things like that. And another way to look at it is just remember those times that you are single, you're out of a relationship, you're focusing on yourself, you're gonna have so much more material to bring forward when you do go on your date. Because imagine you're just cooping up yourself in at home and crying over not being in a relationship and wallowing in your sorrow. You're gonna go on a date and you're gonna have nothing to talk about. They're gonna be like, oh, what'd you do for the last year? And you're gonna have nothing.
I cry myself to
That's
sleep
so
every
true.
day.
You're gonna
Aren't you
have
proud of me?
nothing. But
It's
imagine in that year, you were like, I was a very depressed person at the beginning of 2019, and I reflected on myself, and I decided to just try new things. I took a belly dancing class, I took an art class, I took a cooking class, and I learned how to make an amazing cheesecake. So, like, you have things to talk about that you've accomplished in that year. And I think that's so attractive. And if someone is truly, you know, interested in you, they will accept that and they will appreciate that, you know. So
Cheesecake
Yeah,
time.
for sure. Like, just be happy with yourself.
If you're happy, then you know it.
And there's no like age to dating. Like, you can get married whenever you want, like, or have kids whenever you want, whatever.
Preach it.
You know, like, people always say like, oh, you gotta have like this and this and this by like 20 something, mid 20s, late 30s, or whatever, early 30s. I don't know. There's not like an age limit or whatever for anything that you do. It's wherever you, like, whatever age you get to like that point. Like, I don't like to think of age as a number. I like to think of age as a maturity. Like, you're like how you mature and grow.
Yeah.
Versus like how many years have you lived, you know?
I'm still 11.
Okay, that's fair.
My maturity level is very low. I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
like, it shouldn't be like, oh, because you're like 25, you should be done with college or whatever and have a job and be married.
Yeah, I look
You
at
know,
it like
it should
XP.
be-
I look
maybe.
at
Yeah.
like XP.
Yeah.
Like, for me, if someone has a certain mentality and they're my age and like I'm 31, and if they are, if they're like not at that point in their life where they've even started to reflect on themselves, that's a red flag for me, because that shows me that I cannot be in a relationship with this person. Not that I'm saying like I'm woke or something. No, it's just I spend so much time in my head and like thinking about life that like we're just not gonna mesh. It's just not gonna work, and that's important to know about yourself. Like what, and I think I mentioned this before, so thank you for bringing that up. I made the clarification that like when I say that that when I talk about the age thing, it's not like, oh, they don't have a job yet, they don't have this. It's more like your mentality. Like, where are you mental wise? Are you reflecting? Are you growing? Is self-development important to you? Is self-improvement important to you? Are you reflecting on your past mistakes? Are you reflecting on how you can move forward from them and grow from them? And are you becoming more accountable for your decisions? That's important to me, I think. And that, I think, comes with I hope comes with age.
It's crazy though. It's crazy because that's like a maturity thing. Like, that's not a, oh, you're gonna like live X amount of years and you're gonna learn all these
Automatically,
things.
yeah.
It's like maturity. It's crazy.
And it's a
Saying I ain't gonna
choice.
65? You some bullshit.
Yeah. And it's a choice, eh?
Yeah, and like people reach those things at different stages in their life. So
yeah.
that was like, I guess, going back to like,
I really
would
like
I date
that.
somebody who's X whatever, like, or who we don't, I don't know. Anyway, like, never mind. I forgot, I lost what I was gonna say. But yeah.
Oh, we were saying, is there something that would make you like end the date or leave the date or make it go like super
Yeah,
poorly?
or something like that. No, and I don't think so, because I don't know, I think people just grow at different like stages. Like, I'm not the most mature person for my age, right? Like, and that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna try to be more mature than I am, because I think you go through things in life to get to where you are, maturity wise. Like, you don't just age and become like an adult. Like, you have to go through
100%.
things for you to become an adult.
Yeah.
Don't be
Does
an
that make
adult. It's terrible. Adulting
Yeah.
is terrible.
And I
Yeah,
think,
like, you know, only, like, I don't know. It's, like, hard to explain.
no,
but
it makes sense. And I think for some
You're not just
people,
automatically an adult, if that makes sense.
no,
Just because you turn 21 or 18, whatever it is.
definitely not. And I think
Legal.
it's also important to note that some people make a choice to not pursue growth. Like they make an active choice, even though they are advised to do so, or they want to do so, or whatever it is, like a part of them wants to. So that's also important to note that some people, they have the experiences that would allow them to grow, but they choose not to grow from it. And that might just come at
Yeah.
a different time in their life where they're like, oh shoot, I should have gone a different route, eh? Damn. And that's just how it is, but it's important to know what you want and what you're looking for and what you're willing to sacrifice and overlook.
Yeah, like, that has to go with, like, just knowing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, before you date. Although I do think dating, like, matures us as people.
Yes.
But, you know.
It does. Well, it should. You should walk away like not with just a broken heart or an experience, but also with some kind of reflection and growth. Because I do truly believe that each relationship, even if it's a casual relationship, sometimes if you've talked to the person or if you've just had your first casual relationship, it does give you information about yourself. Like there are people
Yeah.
who try the casual sex for the first time and they're like, this is really shitty. I don't like it. Or there's some people who are like, I never thought I'd like it, and I'm like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So, just walk away with experiences and reflection is important. Slay says leisure time is contentious even with yourself. Like I want to read, write, music, game, and so many things for one day. I struggle with that every day, Slay, so I get it. Is there any point where you feel like you've waited too long? I think I missed what that was referring to, Slay. So I'm sorry. If you want to repeat it, that would be awesome. Hi, Jay. Hi, Rhetoric.
I think he meant like waiting too long to start dating.
Oh, nah.
think That's what he meant. But
I
he
don't-
can clarify. I'm just here,
Yeah.
relaying some obscure message.
If that's the
Tomorrow.
case, I don't think there's like you've waited too long. I think people date or should be allowed to date whenever they feel ready, and I do feel like there's such a thing as too early to date, but I don't think there's a too late to date. That's my personal opinion. Change your clothes regularly, though. Very important. Hi, Ray. Wash your balls. I came in at an interesting time. You did.
Come on.
Not a cliche, it's the truth. It is. Wash your balls. Wash everything down there. People need to wash themselves more often. You're a team. Figure your shit out so that the team can be stronger. Be like, hey, you like the Mandalorian? Oh, that's the Star Wars one. Oh, wait, you don't? Okay, don't talk to me. I mean, if that's a deal breaker for you, some people are like Star Wars fanatics. That's
Do
your,
you
that's
like-
your deal
That's
breaker.
why it's-
That's fine.
No, get out my face. I'm not paying for your
Yeah.
meal.
Loneliness makes you text your ex at all the worst times.
Hey, babe.
True, I actually just did that on accident. Not accident, but she hit me up on Snapchat and I replied.
Oh.
Your face. Yeah.
Okay, it's like,
I'm not lonely. I was just like,
hi, how are you?
Are you okay?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I've been there before where I just text them with the, hey, just checking up on you, making sure you're good.
Yeah, how's it going?
And then they don't respond, and you're like, I'm going
Blink
to
twice
cripple
if you
and
saw
die.
this message. Like,
Yeah.
It really hurts. That cheesecake she made was not empirically tested. Can't be proven. It actually was the best ever. Listen, for me, it was the best ever. I made cheesecake the other day, guys, last weekend, and it was my first time trying it in like 10 years, and it was actually phenomenal. Let me tell you, in my opinion, and so I was very happy with it. I'm proud you remember you're 31. It's hard, man. For me, 20s onwards kind of just became a blur. Like I forgot what I did at 26 and 25 and like all of that. I thought maybe it was so recent she'd forget. That sounds pretty mature, Tyrion. Yeah, Tyrion, I think you are very mature. I know you said you don't think that you're the most mature person.
I look like a
but I think
10-year-old.
you.
I'm just kidding. No, that's a really nice like compliment. I really appreciate that.
I think you are with the way that you speak. I think maturity also is identified by how open minded you are, and you seem very open minded and accepting of people's stages in life, which I think is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
important to have. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek on something that I recently changed about myself. I used to be very close-minded about people's occupations, and I don't know if it was the way I was raised or in my culture or whatever it is, but mechanics I would like not be. I'd be like, no, I wouldn't date a mechanic. Like, why would I date someone who gets their like hands dirty and stuff? Like that's what they do for a living. It's labor. But after I like really sat down and thought about that after
Who
meeting a
gonna fix your
mechanic,
car?
and that's what I started thinking. I'm like, okay, oh, it's like those people who judge people who are porn stars, but they watch porn. It's like, oh, so you want the service? Oh, so you want the mechanic service, but you won't marry them? You're a shitty person. And like when I really like called myself out, it was a moment of growth for me, and I was like, I'm a terrible person. And it was such a good like kind of like wake up call for me in that sense, and that helped me become more open minded to just realizing that shit, I mean, it's honest money at the end of the day. Why do I care how they really earn it? Like whether they're a plumber or they're an electrician. I'm mentioning these things that like people normally like look down upon, um, because people only like praise engineer and like business
Like
owner
nurses, you
and a
know?
nurse and a doctor. But like y'all all,
These
yeah,
doctors be lying every day. What you
yeah,
mean?
and
You
y'all
have cancer.
need
Wait a minute.
those
Stop that.
services of the plumber, of the electrician, of the handyman, all that. So that was a moment of growth for me. So it's nice to see someone else who is also
I
so open
appreciate my
minded.
plumber. I just don't appreciate the plumber's crack. That's the only.
I'm like weird though because I think of like when someone's like, "Hey, I'm a plumber," I'm like, "Oh, I wonder like what got them into plumbing? Like why did they choose that as a profession? Did they not want to go on to school? Was it like they
Hey,
are
that's
they
a
doing
skill.
it because
It's
like
a
it's
skill.
you
It's
like
a,
they're
it's
just
a
doing it
nice skill to have.
because?"
I mean, that could be. Yeah, it's a nice skill to have. I mean,
And then I'm like, "Do they
I'm gonna
hate
need
their
it.
job and they just didn't like go on to school? Like who knows, you know? Like there's always like a story behind like
I hate everybody. I'm
things
gonna go be a
people
plumber.
do."
I really like that. I like that you think about it like a story and a learning
I'm like
experience.
weird, yeah. Like I always have to think about like, oh, like
You
what do
see
you
why
do,
Mario?
Raven? Like what do you do for a job?
I am an executive assistant, which is just a fancy way of like financial,
Is that like
administrative, and
yeah, like relation?
strategic support for the branch. Yeah, and HR and stuff.
Yeah, like is that like your dream
No.
job? Do you want to go back to school?
Automatically, no.
I mean, eventually I'd want to go into school for like either teaching or like I want to do a master's in either like get a master's in education or in community. I think it was called community leadership,
Yeah,
which is like more down the not for profit,
nonprofit.
yeah,
Yeah.
route, or like to help rebuild communities and things like that. But I just don't know how to get there, so I'm kind of just doing this to earn money. And recently streaming has really, well, not recently, since I started streaming, it's really like healed me from the breakup and just my own personal insecurities, and it's really challenged
Mhm.
me. And like this Ravens Real Talk, for example, I've been wanting to do this for years, and I only really started thinking about seriously doing it when I started streaming, and then now it's like actually a thing and I'm doing it. So it's things like this that are like milestones for me. So I would want a job where I have milestones. And in my current job, I'm not really reaching any milestones, like of personal development, in my opinion.
Yeah, like you're just kind of existing in that like position or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to do this for much longer. Get me out.
Yeah, like and yeah, exactly. So like for me in my mind, like when you say all that, I'm like, "Oh, like what got you there? Like how did you get into that? Like did you go to school or did you just like pick up a job and then you like worked your way up kind of thing?" I don't know. It's like how I think.
No, I like that because
And then
that
with like streaming, like
story.
what do you want to do with streaming or like okay, if you could be a big streamer, would you be a big streamer? Like
I would actually.
like 10,000 viewers. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are like, hell no. Some people are
Yeah.
like, hell yeah.
I think it's a lot of pressure when you become that big, but I would want to do it because I believe in my community and like the space that I've created of being like this really positive space, and I would want more people to feel like welcomed and have access to a positive space where they're not judged and they don't feel like they're and they feel like they're listened to, like they can come and have a serious conversation or a deep conversation about their sexuality, about their abusive parents, about whatever they're going through, and we have fun, but we also have those deep talks, and it's okay. And I would want to spread more awareness about the topics that we talk about on Raven's Real Talk, and if I had a bigger audience, I think like that ripple effect could be um, like more widespread than I have now.
Yeah.
So it would be cool, but who knows if that'll ever happen.
Super off topic. Sorry.
No, that's
I
okay.
think it's interesting. I think like, you know,
It
everything.
stemmed from you being open-minded and interested in
Yeah.
the people that you do end up deciding to go on a date with. You kind of want to know more about them instead of just passing
Yeah,
that
yeah. I don't
judgment.
think there's anything wrong with anything that anyone's doing. Like if someone wants to sit at home and play video games for 40 hours a day, 24 hours a day, yeah, sure, go ahead, you know.
Yeah.
It might be 3 hours. You don't know. They still up.
Yeah, you know, like whatever, that's them. You know, it's not gonna like stop me from dating somebody, I feel like, because people are people, I guess. They
I
all
went
have
to
their
bed.
own.
You still gave it? Damn. All right. Here's some breakfast. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for this. It was such a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to touch up on all of these different topics. And I'm gonna. Waiting too long is a thing for the most part. Wait, really? Many people hesitate so much because they can lead to you just putting it off more and more. Oh. I see what you're saying. I mean, Drew was talking about you don't have to rush, so I wonder if you cannot be into dating right now and stay for too long. Hmm.
Yeah.
Snapchat is basically a trap.
Yeah, it's kind of like trapping yourself in the cycle of like, hey, I'm not sure, but I want to, and it's like, yeah, you keep saying that, and then no one, you're not asking someone to push you. You're not like, I have the app on my phone, but I just haven't registered, and it's like, or you're like, I see that girl and I want to message her, but I feel like she just wants to be friends. Like you sometimes you just gotta leap, bro. You just gotta go in there and just do it. Like sliding into DMs is a real thing. Like you just don't have to just do it, take the risk. If she replies back and be like, yeah, what's up? And be like, I'm in, boys. Or, you know, she gonna be like, no, I don't really do this. And you be like, cool, I'm gonna back off, but I still want to be friends, hopefully.
Yeah. And be
Right.
cool enough to be that person. Like, don't be
Right.
like, well, you
Don't
know
be
what? I didn't
awkward.
want you
Don't be,
anyways.
don't be awkward with it. Don't be like butthurt.
Hostile.
I
Yeah.
mean, don't try to call her out. Be like, oh, or him out. You be like, oh, this or she said that. I'm like, we talked on the low. Like,
It's not a
nobody,
good look.
like,
It's not a good look. Lying is not a good look. Don't do it.
you already put yourself in a hole. Like, just stop right there, homie. Just stop right there. But yeah,
Mm.
I feel like I trap. It's like I'm just comfortable being single. I was just having fun. I wasn't even like really flirting. Well, I was flirting, but I wasn't like really going out and like doing anything with people. I was just like making myself feel good, and then I'm like, wow, this person is actually interested. I'm like, what is this? What this is what something feels like? I'm like, let me step back. And now I'm like, okay, I'm prepared. I am ready to be with someone that I would want to just spend the rest of my life with. But at the same time, you know, I'm still playing the field. Ain't nobody certain. Ain't nobody all the way. But, you know, I have my eye on someone and I'm like, I'm working on it. But, you know, there's no commitment.
Yeah.
She's not mine.
And you're taking your
Not a lady.
time. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just taking my time.
Taking
And
your
like,
time. And that's fine.
when I get my first interaction with her, that's when I'm like, this is it. Like, we're gonna spend a weekend together, some days, and I'm like, okay, are you with this or not? And if not, then I'm like, okay, cool. Like, thanks for letting me know, and I know we can still be friends. So I have nothing to really lose, but there's nothing to really gain once it happens.
Mm-hmm. My ex tries reaching out to me that I get to travel and go to conventions and stuff and work with guests, and I just ignore it because it's like, where were you when I was at my lowest point? And that's good that you have that kind of self restraint, Jay. I know, like, some of us have struggled with responding to exes in the past, and mechanics are the best. And garbage people stop working, the world will fall to chaos. Ain't that the truth? They make bank if their own business. Have you ever done emergency plugging? I appreciate that. I was just lurking, but I want to comment on this subject. Honestly, I have huge respect for plumbing, trash collecting, and such. They do something that I would probably not do, but it's so important for our society. Absolutely, and it's important to appreciate that. Tyrion sounds like a storyteller. She does, right? She has a very calming voice.
Oh, thank
You
you.
do. You're welcome. My buddy averages 45,000 viewers on Twitch, and he is one of the most humble people, and he acts the same as he would if there were 10 people. I really like that, and I pray if I'm ever like in a situation where I do get up there, that I don't change and become a different person, unless it's for the better. Let me put that
Yeah.
out there.
I don't think you would though. You have a very like you personality.
Thank you, baby. I like
That makes
If I
sense.
can come in and troll you, you different. Like,
You've changed.
what? Everyone's trying to ban me.
Everyone said it.
Like, who are these other people? I'm like, we're slaves. Like, I'm not getting banned for saying stupid stuff. I'm getting banned for actually saying good stuff. This is wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong for sure. Also, I think people like mechanics, blacksmiths, plumbers, and such probably are some of the most coolest people, creative people you can know. They can be way more generous and have the willingness and means to help you in some occasion than desk people who only know how to type. Mr. Matt 2702, thank you so much for the follow. You see that, Raven? That is you. You are now under my wing. Welcome. Who only know how to type in computers, if you know what I mean. I love to hang out with people who like to get their hands dirty. We can have the most fun together. I think that applies to both, but maybe you're speaking from personal experience. But yeah, I understand if you had more experiences with like cooler people who get their hands dirty than that people have that have desk jobs. But I do feel like as a person, it can go either way. Like there's some like mean mechanics out there too, you know, or like mean plumbers. But I think I know what you're saying, and I think it could go both ways.
They're getting a horrible Yelp review.
All right, guys, I am going to initiate a raid, and I'm going to do my exercise, but I don't want to hold you guys up. I know, Tyrion, you got to go study, and I know, Fun, it is late for you. So I am going to end the Discord call. Thank you guys so much once again for spending your time. Tyrion, I know you have schoolwork to do, and I went way over the time, so I'm like very, very sorry about that.
Fine, I'll just ram it in. It's okay.
Okay.
You at
just wanted
11:59.
to say,
I know.
yeah.
I hope you guys had a good time. I did. It was really
Thank you.
nice.
For
You're
having us.
welcome. You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Bye,
Good
everybody.
night,
Bye.
everybody. See you later.
Nice.
Bye,
I'm sorry.
guys.
Perfect.
Bye, everybody.
Take care and Raven out. Let's go.